What's up, my dudes? It's Vigor's Q&A. I figured I'd start it 1 minute early, so you guys can let me know if the audio and the video quality is okay. Please let me know so I don't get PTSD and problems while we go live. So, start firing away in the comment section if the audio and video quality is good. I made quite a couple changes in OBS, so fingers crossed. Unlike the last Vigor's Q&A, we had all kinds of technical difficulties. Hopefully that's fixed now, but I didn't do any beta testing. So if we mess up somewhere, then my sincere apologies. All right, let's get started with a couple updates. Sounds good. That's good to know. Okay, everybody else that can't hear me, unmute me, and then we can get started. Let's see. Updates. Oh, yeah. Anabolic Roundtable episode 16 dropped last Monday. It's linked down below in case you missed it. I guess liver health was not that popular. We only got, 10,000 views or something like that. So, guys, bring the view count up. We still have one more Anabolic Roundtable to go, episode 17 about brain health. That's probably even going to get less views because nobody cares about neurotoxicity and stuff. And then I guess we'll go right back to good old steroid content to bring the views back up to 30,000 because, well, as soon as you start talking about Trenbolone, the views go up. Let's see. Let's remove this comment for now. All right. Let's see. What else? Where was I? Oh, yeah, here. The Gorilla Mind Black Friday sale has just started, so that's live already. It lasts until December 1st, so that's Cyber Monday. 10 to 40% discount with my code VIGOROUS. And that means that 40% off of creatine monohydrate, beta-alanine, liquid glycerol, the samples that they have on the website, the basic logo tea, and the energy shots. There's 20% off energy drinks, and that's very rare because usually the energy drinks are not on sale. So if you want to stock up on the energy drinks, get 20% discount for the Black Friday deal, then do it today because they're going to sell out really, really fast. And get a couple bundles and sampler packs so you can get yourself sorted, and then you can discard all of the monsters and all of the other energy drinks because Gorilla Mind Energy, hands down, the best energy drinks on the planet. I wish shipping to Thailand wasn't so expensive. I'd be stocked up. I have cases and cases and cases left and right. And then 30% off everything else on the website. So whether that's the supplements or the pre-workouts, all that kind of stuff, it's all 30% with a couple products, only 20% and a couple products, 40%. Use my code VIGOROUS to stack that with my 10% on top. Yes, so you can get 40% off creatine monohydrate plus 10% if you use my code. What are you waiting for? Pause this Vigor's Q&A and start shopping. What else? You get some free gifts over orders of $200. So you get free creatine monohydrate, beta-alanine, and liquid glycerol with orders over $200 and free USA shipping, so not the free international shipping, unfortunately. So why get 40% off plus 10% with my code when you can get creatine monohydrate for free if you just spend your money on the energy drinks and rank up $200? Right? You get free creatine on top of that. What else do you want? They're also launching Orange Ice Cream or Dream, Orange Ice Dream, from Gorilla Mode and Gorilla Mode Nitric. So they have a new flavor for Gorilla Mode Nitric called Orange Ice Dream. And that's about it. So that's live until December 1st. Start shopping. Intelligent Shop also has the Black Friday early access, but I believe that they already started selling their fragrances up to 50% off. Again, stacks with code VIGOROUS for another 10% on top. I mean, it's basically free. And a couple of the other, the hair products are on discount as well. Bathmate still has the early access sign up for Black Friday. So if you're in the running for penis enlargement, then until November 24th, you can sign up for the early access, 10 to 30% with the link down below. And then once that Black Friday deal goes live, then basically your Bathmate model is locked in. And first time ever for Vigor's Steve is that we're going to do a Black Friday deal on the consultations and personalized advice by email. Yes. You know what? I have so much free time now because I stopped making videos. And since my rates are kind of high, I decided to bring down my 50%. That will be November 28th to the 1st. And then I will probably allow you to cash in or use those consultations or personalized advice by email up until let's say February 2026. So you don't have to use it right away. Otherwise, I'll be working 80 hours. I'm sure of it. Use it in December. Use it in January, February. So you have a 3-month time to use that 50% off consultation or personalized advice by email. And then I can kind of space it out a little bit. So if you're thinking about, I need a consultation, not now, but a couple months from now, don't worry. If you purchase it, you lock it in for the next couple of months, for the next 3 months, and then you can get your discount. And I wanted to announce it now 2 weeks ahead of time because I'd feel so guilty for the guys that buy a consultation now. And then 2 weeks from now, it's 50% off. It's not cool. Right? You'd be pissed. I'd be pissed also. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm holding off all of my purchases of motorcycle gear until Black Friday. Right? I got Facebook Marketplace and AliExpress and Etsy and all these links that I found through Facebook ads. Unfortunately, I cannot purchase anything right now unless I contact the seller and say, hey, you got a Black Friday deal? Yes. I said, can we do that now so I can buy it? And you send it to me right away. The money is ready. I don't want to wait 2 weeks. So some sellers are not up to that. So I got everything bookmarked, and bet your left testicle and your right kidney that I'll be spending thousands of dollars for Black Friday. So consultations and personalized advice by email, 50% off for that entire weekend. And then you have 3 months to cash that in. Subscribe to the Clips channel. We're at 11,600 subscribers now, which is abysmal, but it's growing pretty fast. And let me give you guys a cycle update as per the title, because I'm combining basically all of the 19 NORs. Right? And YK-11 you could consider to be a 19 NOR. And at first I thought it was a DHT derivative, but structurally speaking, you could consider it a 19 NOR. And it's called, what is it called? Hydroxyestra 4,9-dione. And I'm sure all the chemists are, screaming on top of their lungs that it's somewhat incorrect. But hey, I'm not a chemist, and I'm just looking at the molecules. But I'm running similar compounds based on 19-NOR testosterone. So I'm running 600 test, 600 Deca, 150 MENT, 150 Tren, and 210 milligrams injectable YK-11 for modern aminos, code vigorous, per week. So that's what? 600 plus 600 plus 300 plus 210, a whopping 1,710 milligrams. Might be a little bit more because, when you draw 2 cc's, you might draw a little bit more. So let's say around 2 grams a year. That's what I'm on. And it's the cycle is amazing. PRs left and right. But my knees are not really agreeing with those PRs. But it's a lot of fun. I'm getting really dense now. It's sick. When I have a pump, it's insane. All right, so that's my cycle update. And a couple updates about Thailand. There are some changes on the visa on arrival, but it's mostly on the land border. So if you think about crossing by land, especially from Laos and Cambodia, in the few borders, there's no borders open now because there's border disputes. But if you're crossing in from Laos, they're closing off the borders a little bit more scrutinous for border runs because there's so many scam centers in Laos and Myanmar and Cambodia that they're really hammering on the people that frequently travel back and forth. So if you're one of those guys that is here on tourist visas doing border runs, get a DTV visa or a student visa or a Muay Thai visa or get married. Right? You could lose half your shit or your dick, if you marry unwisely. I'm very happily married, but, you got to be careful. So for all the guys that are coming to Thailand frequently, make sure you do a lot of research about these visa changes because I've seen a couple people deported already because they've been doing the in and outs on the tourist visa. And that's, Thailand, every 2 years or something, they really hammer down and then they open the borders again and then they hammer down on it again. Yeah, it's gender fluid visa politics. Basically, that's nothing new. And they're going to do import taxes on all of the packages in 2026. So if you order things from China, whether that's AliExpress or your favorite raw source, everything, literally everything for the first couple of months until they, tire out at customs, is going to be inspected and taxed. So with the average shipping time of about a month from AliExpress and, from the sources, the Chinese sources, 2 to 3 weeks, you have until the end of November, the next 2 weeks, to get your packages in because from 2026 onwards, taxed. And if it's a product that obviously shouldn't be here, then it's a bribe or it gets discarded. So you better have your connections at DHL or FedEx or whatever. So you might be able to clear it for a little bit of an incentive. But yeah, everything is going to be taxed. So I've been buying all the stuff that I could potentially need for the next couple of years. I got packages coming in every single day. It's like Christmas. Yeah, so that will be my advice for all the people that live in Thailand. And that's pretty much it. So let's get the disclaimer out of the way, and then we can get started on the questions. All right, let's scroll up all the way. Here's Brad. How would you run Cerebrolysin if you were an athlete who consistently got mild traumatic brain injuries? Take, for example, football, skiing, or hockey. Traumatic brain injuries that wouldn't warrant a full Cerebrolysin cycle. Maybe 5 milliliters twice a week. But if it's a mild traumatic brain injury, I mean, trauma is trauma, dude. I would do 5 milliliters per day. Or maybe choose a different sport. You know, where you don't get injured, like bodybuilding. You get injured on the kidneys and the liver and the brain. That's why we have the anabolic roundtable, to prevent that from happening or minimize the damage. But contact sports, I don't know. I was working with MMA guys, and I would recommend them to use 5 milliliters Cerebrolysin and then 50 milliliters, 60 milliliters intravenous for every single day for a week or even 2 weeks, depending on if they got knocked out or if they won in the first round with, you know, a roundhouse kick. So it really depends on how traumatic the brain injury is and you know, how much you would need to run and how frequently. Or you need to pick up another sport. I'm coming off 9 months HCG monotherapy, currently been off HCG for 2 weeks. We'll start Enclomiphene for 1 month at a dosage of 25 milligrams per day. Or will it be sufficient to bring back LH and FSH? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Enclomiphene is quite powerful, right? You don't have the Zuclomiphene stereoisomer that's found in Clomid as well, alongside Enclomiphene. So usually with HCG monotherapy, 9 months, I mean, you've been shut down for 9 months, but 25 milligrams Enclomiphene before bed per day should be sufficient to bring LH and FSH back. And you've been off HCG, so there's no negative feedback. Your testosterone level is declined. Your estradiol is pretty low. So you have no negative feedback from elevated testosterone, estradiol, or human chorionic gonadotropin being present in your system. You could start right away. And then let us know in about a month how your LH and FSH levels came back. And then keep in mind, when you stop the Enclomiphene, your LH and FSH levels might still drop. Right? Because now you have supraphysiological LH and FSH by blocking the estrogen receptor with Enclomiphene. So once you take the Enclomiphene out, LH and FSH might still drop, and then it might take some time for testosterone to really come back to your natural potential. Let's see, and D-Brad, one last one. If you took propranolol with mirabegron, could you cancel out the mTOR blunting effect of blocking beta-2 receptors? I'm not sure. That I'm not sure. I mean, mirabegron works on the beta-3 receptors. It's not really known to stimulate your heart rate, even at 200 milligrams per day. And propranolol would block the beta-2 receptor or beta-1 receptors on the heart. Unless you take too much, then it spills over to blocking the beta-2 receptors. But you're blocking the beta-1 and you're activating the beta-3. So technically, there should be no activity or blockade through the beta-2 receptors. Benjamin. Do you still use injectable carnitine when using DADA? Yes, I do. 500 milligrams injectable L-Carnitine and 100 milligrams DADA pre-workout. But DADA I only take on leg days. Because, I mean, DADA is basically, it prevents ATP breakdown. I need to do a deep dive on this shit when I have time. DADA basically increases ATP levels by preventing its breakdown. It's an ATP recycler. So you have more energy for the amount of ATP that you produce, right? Because it constantly gets recycled. And then the carnitine would facilitate additional ATP synthesis by shuttling medium and long-chain triglycerides into the mitochondria where energy is produced. So yeah, I use them together. Fat loss is the same. Stamina is significantly enhanced using 100 milligrams DADA during the leg days. And then, I feel noticeably leaner by the end of the leg day, but it's probably sweating. Right? I mean, how much body fat could you lose during a leg day? I mean, I train pretty hard, but I'm also realistic. So I go to the leg day a little bit watery. Lower back is like jiggly. Looks like, looks like one of those cheap puddings that you would get from the grocery store. You flip it upside down, then you have to make a hole in the top, and it sucks in. As soon as you touch it, it like jiggles all over the place like an obese person's stomach. Basically, that's my lower back. And then at the end of the leg day, my lower back is tight again, just like in the morning. So I don't think that's fat loss. I think that's the removal of a little bit of fluid buildup. Because, well, when I train, I sweat buckets, and the DADA makes me train super, super hard, and the carnitine as well. So, yeah, combine both. ICAR and DADA, I'm not really sure about. I still need to do some more research on that. Spilling growth hormone in the morning and the evening helps with facial bloating. No, I think if you take growth hormone maybe twice per week in a bolus dose, that's what I'm doing right now on leg days. So I took it on Tuesday and Friday. And I guess if you think I'm bloated, it's the end of the day. Give me a fucking break. I'm on test, Deca, MENT. Tren doesn't really bloat you, and neither does YK-11. But test, Deca, MENT, and a little bit of an aromatase inhibitor, which I now take out because the YK-11 will probably crush my estradiol levels. It is what it is. My arms are lean. Yeah, this is lean. My face is not lean. The fuck, man? Need to get leaner so my face can get leaner also. If you want to have less facial bloating, I would do growth hormone bolus dose just twice a week. That's what I do. It's less. If I take growth hormone every single day, I'm more bloated. What's your current antioxidant stack? 5,000 milligrams vitamin C per day, 20 milligrams NAD+, 5,000 milligrams taurine, keeping my estradiol at the top of the reference range. I think it was 45 or 50 last time I checked. Also acts as an antioxidant in the endothelium. 600 milligrams injectable glutathione on leg days, so that's twice a week, 1,200 milligrams per week. And if I really go ham on the cheat meal, I have a little bit of glutathione as well, because I know it's processed food, and it might also cause oxidative stress. So if I saw a discount for donuts, then you bet your left testicle that I'll be on 600 milligrams injectable glutathione before bed that day as well. 2,000 milligrams NAC. What else? Vitamin E I take from palm oil. I have no idea how many IUs or milligrams that is, but I take one capsule in the morning and evening. I think it's about 400 IUs in total. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Vegetables and fruits. It has antioxidants too. Sure, that helps. But unlike some bodybuilders, I don't look like a ashtray in the face. I think I look pretty smooth, you know. I think that's that this fucking skin folds like this, and then the skin looks like leather. Maybe I need to run more Masterone. Would you rather have a DAX symbiote or a Venom symbiote? Well, Venom can touch multiple realities, right? DAX, of course, you get like multiple lifetimes. That would be cool. You get to remember your stuff, but I would rather be Venom, man. Eddie, I need phenylalanine, Eddie. Also, Predator Badlands. I liked it. Yeah, I watched it last Sunday. It was a lot of fun. Is it a great Predator movie? No. Is it a fun movie? Yes. Halfway through the movie, I'd imagined it was a dark fantasy of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And if you watched it, you probably get that, right? You have an annoying android which can't stop talking, just like Navi. You have a protagonist who keeps fighting, through multiple different stages and has a lot of gadgets. Right? That's basically the Predator, right? What was his name? Dek. Dek means small in Thai. Dekling means small monkey. Dek Phalang means small foreigner. Plenty of small foreigners here in Thailand. Dek, that's only for the Asians. The Caucasians don't really have a problem with that, and definitely not the black guys. Anyway, so I liked it. Yeah, but halfway through the movie, I considered it to be a dark fantasy adaptation of The Legend of Zelda, and then it was a lot more enjoyable. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Is it a great Predator movie? Prey is better, and Predators 1 and 2 is better. I like Prey. It was the same director, right? Okay, you have a little bit of a girl boss, but shit, man. I mean, girl bosses are not the end of the world. I mean, Terminator 2 is a massive girl boss, and Star Trek was filled with girl bosses. At least they were still feminine, you know. They were not bitchy. Those are the new girl bosses, bitchy girl bosses. You can be strong, but you're not going to get laid, girl. I was concerned it was going to be a Predator Naglance after he got the android. Yeah, but that's what it turned into, right? She turned into a super nagger. You know, don't clip that. Nagging, right? Nagging. Let's keep it civil, guys. I know you got where you go. Oh, you said the word. No, I said nagging, nagger, not with the I. Don't. That's not the password. Anyway, yeah, she was complaining a lot, but she was basically like Navi or like the rescue mission of Metroid Prime 4. All right, another member question. Man, it never ends. Are we already 30 minutes behind? Yeah, 20 minutes. What's the benefit of coming off TRT HCT before stem cell treatment? I'm going to Bioaccelerator in Colombia this February for shoulders, knees, IV, full body. So basically what I understand from talking to several people that have had stem cells and Dr. Dean is that the stem cells can't implant and diversify into the cells that you want. That's not really the correct word for it. What is it called? Anyway, stem cells go where they need to be, right? And then they need to form, or they need to mutate or transform into the cells of that area. So if you inject stem cells into your knees, the stem cells need to turn into cartilage. If you inject them into your tendons and ligaments, then it needs to transform into tendons and ligaments. And there's some scientific evidence, at least in animal models, that superphysiological dosages of testosterone impair that effect, just like training and inflammation impair that effect, right? So this is why one of the reasons that Fouad Abiadis was specifically instructed not to train, because otherwise his nerve, the potential for regrowth would not be there. So you just come off everything, you let the treatment do its job, listen to the doctor, don't be stubborn, like, he says 4 weeks no gym, and then you start training after 2 weeks, and then you bitch about the treatment not working. It's because you didn't follow the instructions. So, yeah, I think it has to do with differentiation of the stem cells, and that doesn't really work optimally in a scenario where you have superphysiological testosterone levels, and thus superphysiological DHT and estradiol, and I'm sure that all plays a factor. So, androgen deficiency, you're going to be sitting in your ass anyway, and Christmas and New Year's is coming, so just take a break, enjoy it. Thank you for all of your free knowledge, man. I hope to return the favor to the community. I plan on documenting this trip. Okay, cool. Keep us posted, man. Keep us posted. Let us know how it goes. Good luck. I hope that shoulder, knees, and full body IV stuff goes well. And that you have a good outcome. I know it's not cheap to do. Cheat meal anti-fat gain protocol update. Steps after you're eating. You take Xenocol and Carcinia Cambogia to prevent fat absorption and bind up the fat in your intestinal tract. Have a little bit of fiber with that to flush that through. Metformin, berberine, empagliflozin to pee out all the glucose. So you slow the digestion, you increase insulin sensitivity, and whatever glucose is too high in your bloodstream, you pee out, assuming you stay hydrated. And then send a tea with, what is it called? Psyllium husk fiber to pull it all through the next day. Yeah, make sure you have plenty of toilet paper on standby because you'll be shitting out your fucking, all your sins will be shitted out. Could there be a problem on staying on Jardiance and Mirabegron before bed year-round? The problem. You want to use these drugs as needed, so you don't need to use these drugs 24/7. So I haven't used Mirabegron in a very long time. So nothing has to be run year-round unless it's TRT. And everything else you cycle in and out based on what you need. Good morning, Steve. I'm cutting and would like to throw in some Clen. Besides the video on Clen cramps, do you have any videos or recommendations for somebody using Clen the first time? No, I do not. Just the Clen cramp videos. But start low, build your way up. 20 micrograms. Upon waking, do your cardio. Fasted cardio, oh my God. Yeah, well, it helps with fat loss. So Clen, fasted cardio, and then, 2 weeks later, you add in a second serving of 20 micrograms pre-workout before activity again. And then a couple of weeks later, you add in another serving of 20 micrograms somewhere in between your morning dose and your afternoon dose, assuming that you train in the afternoon. Again, don't take it too late. If you train late and you take your Clen and then you can't sleep, you know, that kind of sucks. At one point, you build up so much tolerance that you can take 40 micrograms like 4 times per day. And that's why Clen at one point becomes obsolete. And I would rather advise you to use the Clen once you start getting lean, to the point where leanness becomes an issue, or getting more leaner is an issue, and you have a little bit of a fat loss plateau. So I'm not at a point where I need to use Clen. Do I use Clen? Yes. Twice a week, injectable Clen with yohimbine, called Helios, 20 micrograms Clen and 1.5 milligrams yohimbine. And I shoot that underneath my chest to help with a little bit of lipolysis in that area, because injectable Helios facilitates a little bit of fat loss. And then the chest fat area, plus the liposuction that took place at the beginning of this year, makes it look very nice. For the first time in my life, I actually have chest separation at the lower end. Not in the middle, it's fine. All right, in the middle, it's fine. All right, this is all good. It's popping off the chest, but actually here at the bottom, Jesus Christ, how do we do this? Well, never mind. I'll just take my word for it. There's some chest. I finally have a line here. So that's a lot of Helios and a lot of liposuction. Also, typically, what is the dose of growth hormone? Do you notice a benefit of adding T4 in a caloric deficit? When your blood work tells you that T4 levels are low and thyroid stimulating hormone levels are high. So it could be from 2 IUs, could be from 4 IUs, you know, whatever. Let your blood work decide. Humanity's future is constrained only by its imagination. True. And yeah, I agree. But I like to see some warp speed technology eventually. I've been imagining warp speed for a very long time, but there's no warp speed to be seen anywhere, and we're still stuck on this fucking rock. What's the smartest way to run a lean gain phase after a long cut so I stay insulin sensitive and not overspill? Thank you, Tren Daddy Steve. Slowly increase your calories and keep the cardio in, because you can grow on slight caloric increases of 10%. So you increase your carbohydrates first, right? And not the fat intake, but the carbohydrates first. And then maybe you increase the fat intake with 10%. You bring your protein down a little bit, because the carbs and the fats are protein sparing. So you don't need to eat so much protein. So as you progress through the off season, you slowly bring your protein down and you increase your carbohydrates and your fats, you know, to a certain extent, 1 gram per kilogram of body weight, maybe 1.25. So at 100 kilos, I would have 125 grams of fat and then maybe 1,000 grams of carbs up until my peak, right? And then training like a fucking maniac, obviously. And then maybe 150 grams, 200 grams of protein, you know, because my stomach would be full with carbs. I know you'd be surprised how good that works, but you need to stay mobile. So you need to keep your steps up. You need to obviously, you know, do a little bit of fast cardio and not increase the food too fast, because you can only grow so much. And if you lose insulin sensitivity, then it's counterproductive. So you don't need to be 100% carb loaded. You could be 90, 95% carb loaded, where you have a phenomenal pump in the gym, but not a phenomenal pump 24/7, right? So yeah. And hire a coach if you don't know how to do that. You know, they'll make those micro adjustments for you. They'll give you 20 grams more carbs after your check-ins. And you're like, oh, that's it. Hey, but your insulin sensitivity stays high, man. Timing of Novolin or intra-workout. Can you elaborate a bit more? Appreciate you as always, long-time listener. I would suggest you to buy the insulin ebook. I know it's $75, but it's well worth it. We don't take Novolin or intra-workout. We take that with our pre-workout meal. So if you eat 1 hour, whether that's you know, any other rapid-acting insulin or fast-acting insulin, they pretty much have the same peak onset, the duration with a couple minutes variation, but you won't notice that much if you limit it to 5 IUs, maybe 10 IUs if you're obese, but 5 IUs pre-workout is usually good. So you have your pre-workout meal, some proteins and some carbs, minimal fat to match the rate of digestion to your rapid-acting or fast-acting insulin. So that would be, chicken and rice, chicken and potato, chicken and banana, whatever you prefer. It's all explained more in depth in the insulin ebook, and you really have to go by your own digestion on what works well, right? You need to consume a food that digests over 4 hours, because the rapid-acting insulin or the fast-acting insulin works over 4 hours as well. You have your pre-workout meal about 1 hour, 1.5 hours before you start your workout. And I think the peak onset and duration, the peak of rapid-acting insulin, or the onset is 30 to 60 minutes. The peak is 2 to 3 hours. And then the duration is about 4 hours. I think so. And with fast-acting insulin, it's 15 to 30 minutes. The onset, the peak is 1 hour to 3 hours, and the duration is 4.5 hours. Don't quote me on this. That's just pure from memory. I haven't written the insulin protocol in a very long time, but it's all discussed in the insulin ebook. I would highly advise you to purchase it. It's already on discount. There's not going to be any Black Friday deals for the ebooks. It's already on perma discount. So take the Novolin R post meal, so that's post-prandial meal, which is 1.5 hours before your workout with a 30-minute warm-up. As soon as the rapid-acting insulin starts peaking, you start your actual workout, and then the pumps will be insane. Yeah, I should be doing that. I still have some Humalog here. Yummy. Male, 42 years old. Doc, put me on 25 milligrams Anavar per day and 200 milligrams test a week. I feel like shit. So what does 2.5 milligrams Anavar per day, 200 milligrams of tea feel better? Well, I don't know if the Anavar makes you feel like shit. You have to figure out what makes you feel like shit. So if you think it's the Anavar, take it out. And then, see if you feel better in 2 weeks. If you feel better in 2 weeks, then, yeah, your doctor started you off way too high. Maybe you need to start at 2.5 milligrams. And then you start low, build your way up, like I always recommend. Now, I'm not a doctor, but it sounds like your doctor is retarded. Because he should have known. He should be watching the Vigor Steve YouTube channel and have similar protocols ready so you do not feel like shit, assuming it's from the Anavar. 25 milligrams Anavar per day, 175 milligrams per week. On top of your TRT, that's 375 milligrams anabolic androgenic steroids combined over the week. You doubled your dose. Maybe it's too much for you. Maybe you can't handle it. I can handle it. I'm 42 years old. I could handle a lot more Anavar. Well, 25 milligrams Anavar, but a lot more injectable steroids. No problemo. But maybe it's too much for you. So take the Anavar out, wait 2 weeks, and then start at 2.5 milligrams per day. Build your way up. When you start feeling like shit, you go to the previous increment. And then run it in a sweet spot. Professor Steve says pixelated MGF1 or MGF makes the wallet lighter. What do you recommend for real recovery so I can train more often and actually function? I think deep soreness dumbs recovery, not injury. Reduce your volume. It's that simple. Reduce your volume, increase your sleep. It's very simple. Worked for me, man. I do 6 working sets, 6 different exercises for my main body part, and then 4 working sets for my secondary body part over 4 different exercises. And that's it. 10 sets, I'm done. I go home. Total free testosterone levels would you recommend for long-term TRT regimen for somebody in their 50s? Yeah, it really depends on what else you're doing. If you're drinking and smoking and not exercising and not living the lifestyle, then 800, 700. If you're going to the gym, you're going to the beach, which you're clearly doing based on your pictures. You're eating healthy, you're doing daily fasted cardio, you bang the missus hard in every fucking orifice, and she loves it. 1,500, 2,000, man. You're a fucking man, you earned it. But you take care of yourself also, you do your blood work. If it's 2,000, I wouldn't have a problem. I would earn 2,000 milligrams, 2,000, yeah. It's not TRT. Oh, who the fuck cares? I'm jacked, I'm healthy, I make a fuckload of money, and I fuck my wife hard. Who are you to decide for me to stay into the reference range, man? Nothing I do in my life is average. So go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself with this hand or this hand to make it feel like somebody else. But, if you're a fucking boss, run it up to 2,000 nanograms per deciliter, man. I wouldn't have a problem with it. When I eat healthy, I take my antioxidants, I do my daily fasted cardio, I live the lifestyle. And the more of the lifestyle you live, the more of a beast you are, the more you are fucking awesome in doing the work, the higher you can run it, even if you're 50, because your body is healthy and resilient. I missed one live stream and Steve crabbed a bunch of new mods. Yeah, man. Hopefully these people do their job and keep the riffraff out. Sky Vision Tube. Is EQ the preferred choice to add the testosterone since we can't get Primo anymore? Steve's your demand. If you tolerate EQ, you know, if you don't get any of the mental side effects, the GABAergic side effects, or reduction of GABAergic signaling, so you get a little bit of anxiety and you feel a little bit, you know, don't feel a little bit off, which you can supplement with GABA to relax you, then yeah. I mean, I'm running all test Deca, Tren and MENT, and YK-11. I'm having a fucking blast. Sure, I'm a little bit watery, but who cares? I'm married. My wife's gonna fuck me anyway, you know? I'm fucking pumped and jacked in the gym. What more do you want? I don't compete. Right? Okay, if I want to be a little bit leaner, I get my body fat levels lower. Instead of, you know, bitching about the water, I'm so bloated. Okay, you eat better and you get your body fat levels lower. So you have less body fat for potential water retention. You know, and all the areas that are exposed are shredded, man. So, okay, this is not shredded. All right? Okay. But in the morning, I look good. In the morning. But yeah, go for it. You can run anything as long as your body agrees with it. It's that simple. Compound selection, they're not necessarily better than other compounds, right? They all do pretty much the same thing. They all stimulate protein synthesis. They all promote recovery. They all make you strong. And some make you stronger than others. Some are more anabolic than others. Some enhance protein synthesis and recovery more than others. And everybody responds to the different degree. That's why we have so many Masteron fanboys saying that's the perfect steroid. I never got much out of Masteron. You know, is it Masteron's fault? Maybe. Is it my genetics' fault? Maybe. Masteron just makes me want to piss all the fucking time, you know? So, and if I can only run 2,000 milligrams a week, for example, then I'd rather fill that up with Boldenone and test than Masteron and test. So, again, the preferred choice depends on your body, not what everybody else says. You just run what feels good to your body. And I can tell you right now, 600 tests, 600 Deca, 150 MENT, 150 Tren, and 210 YK-11 feels fucking good on my body. The gym doesn't like it because I'm stacking weights upon weights upon weights upon weights upon weights on every fucking machine and free weights. And it's moving like butter. Okay, my joints hurt a little bit, but it's part of the game, man. I've been doing this 27 years. So, of course, I'm going to have some injuries. But use the compounds that work well for you. And it doesn't matter what everybody else runs. If it works for you, it works for you. And enjoy the ride. Or just use Amari. What is it? Aromacin? You can use test and Aromacin. I did that I have a video, 2.5 grams of test and Aromacin. Great cycle. I was also lean. I was also shredded. Did you use Winstrol? At the end. Did you use Superdrol at the end? Did you use Masteron? No, wasn't available. Did you use Primo? No, wasn't available. So I just was available, and I let the diet and the training and do the job. You know, you can run anything, man. You can run anything. Morning, what's up? Good morning, what's up, dudes? All right, let's scroll a little bit down because we're very far behind. Would Januvia prolong the benefits of Cerebrolysin? If so, what dose? Oh, the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor, right? Yeah, technically, because Cerebrolysin increases brain-derived neurotropic factor, vascular endothelial growth factor to a certain extent. It was also in the scientific evidence. Glial cell line-derived neurotropic factor, and the other neurotropic factors, right? And most of those are broken down by dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzymes found on the cell membrane of cells all over the body. And Januvia blocks them. That's a dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor. And the dose would be, man, I mentioned it in the Cerebrolysin deep dive. Januvia, I think it was 25 milligrams, but, oh no, 100 milligrams, sorry. Once daily. Yeah. But then you really have to, or you do 50 milligrams twice daily, but you really have to make sure that you keep track of your blood glucose levels, because its main function is to prevent the breakdown of insulin and IGF-1. So if you're preventing the breakdown of insulin and IGF-1, your blood glucose levels might be very, very low. And then, you know, you can't Cerebrolysin your way out of hypoglycemia. You know, is it the same for the other healing peptides? I think TB500 and BPC157 are also broken down with the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzymes. Cortexin, I'm not sure. But you should be able to piece that together with the scientific evidence. Januvia is part of the healing protocol to prevent the breakdown. Let me tell you, when I did that for all my surgeries that I did in the course of 2 weeks, it's healed very fast. Going to start with 2 milliliters Cerebrolysin. Do you recommend doing daily injections during high demand stress days? I would just do it every day, man. Just do it every day. I did 5 milliliters every single day and then 10 milliliters on high stress days. But I don't really have real stress, no work stress, no life stress. But I consider leg day to be stressful because it's just getting 8 plates on the machine, man. And then you do 1 set, and then you have to take 8 plates off per side. And then you go to the next machine, 7 plates. I need a weight boy. I need to hire somebody to do the weight boy, to change the weights for me. My DHT levels are 68, higher end. Which reference range is that? But great skin. I think mine was like 17. Oh, that's nanograms per deciliter, probably. I think mine was nanograms per milliliter. That's why it was so high. Okay. Okay, so that's not out of the reference range. It's on the higher end. Great skin, greatest hair. Does that mean my receptors in hair and skin are not sensitive to DHT? No, because it's in range. It's normal. So go on Primo, go on Maestro, go on Anavar, go on Winstrol, where you have super physiological levels of DHT-like compounds in your system. Then see if you're not getting hair loss or not. Like, I don't get any hair loss. This is all self-induced. I don't give a shit about hair. This is all I have. The rest is gone. It's gone everywhere. Fuck, man. No bush, no nothing. So the only way of knowing is that you either need to go on TRT or HCG monotherapy, where you double or triple your DHT levels, see if you get hair loss then. And if it's still not the case, you could still get hair loss from injecting Primo, Mastrone, if you can find it, or Winstrol or Anavar, which, anecdotally are all not very good on your hairline if you suffer from male pattern baldness. For somebody not on steroids for fertility reasons, what are the next biggest movers for growing besides growth hormone? Currently seeing great results on 6 IUs per day. IGF-1, insulin, clenbuterol has some anabolic properties if you ramp it up over 40 micrograms per day, but it seems to be more pronounced in women than men. SARMs you can't run because they shut down fertility. I know everybody pooped on torkesterone and ecdysterone, but it's worth looking into. It doesn't shut you down. Right? Creatine monohydrate. Yeah, and if you want good fertility, just go on HCG monotherapy, right? You increase your testosterone levels. 1,000 IUs HCG Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 75 IUs FSH Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or every day if you can afford it. And then I was pretty jacked, man. I don't have a video, but I remember I was doing that protocol. I was 92 kilos lean with growth hormone and Increlex, and I was pretty shredded. It's 92 kilos versus 105 kilos. There's a big difference, obviously. It's 10 kilos actual muscle, a little bit of water. But yeah, 6 IUs growth hormone per day for fertility purposes and staying in a little bit anabolic. I'm not against it, man. I miss your deep dives. Yeah, I wish I had the motivation and the time to sit down to do stuff, but I get constantly interrupted by my daughter, and that's more important to me right now. Welcome to the Vigorous Crew. Steve, just saw something on MK677. Is it real? Talking about MK677? I don't know what you saw, bro. Clarify. It's been 2 weeks since 150 testosterone anthate, 125 milligrams Primo, Tren 25 milligrams weekly, 25 milligrams Anavar daily. Amazing recomp results. Thank you, coach. All right. There you go. Not a question, just an update. It's working well. Throw some growth hormone in there for the crew. 2 IUs, 4 IUs. For the recomp, throw some Mirabicron, throw some Cardurine, throw some iCar, throw some Sobuterol. Yeah, I'm not giving you the wrong advice, right? But if you're recomping, kudos, man. Get the job done. Use the fat burners when you stall. Hey, in your last video, you mentioned that normal AST and LT to be elevated, but Dr. Dean said if LT double AST, it means there's a problem. My AST is 57 and LT 97. I'm on 3 grams performance-enhancing drugs, 114 kilograms, 175 centimeters. Yeah, what did Dean say? There might be some liver inflammation, but from all the blood work that I've seen people running good amounts of gears, that AST is about half of ALT. So I think we all have problems, but then bilirubin is normal, albumin is normal, globulin is normal, gamma GT is normal. Man, what did Dean say? You know, ferritin could be slightly elevated, but that was normal in my case also. So a lot of bodybuilders just have double the ALT of the AST. And I think it's training related. It's because it usually comes down to similar levels after you take off from the gym for about 7 to 10 days. Now, who's going to take off from the gym 7 to 10 days, especially when you run 3 grams of gear? 114 kilos, man, that's nice. 174, yeah, I'd be about the same weight. If I add in another gram, I'd probably be the same weight. But I'm 175, so it looks less impressive. But hey, my AST and LT is similar, man. I'm fine, dude. I'm fine. I've done so many ultrasounds and fibro scans on my liver that it's just part of the game. These numbers, you know, your CK is probably, or creatine phosphokinase is probably also like 2,000 or 3,000. So take 2 weeks off from the gym. See what happens, and otherwise go on Tutka and all the other supplements that we discussed. Even though Tutka doesn't bring your liver enzymes down that much, it will get it down. Drek, yeah. Drek, not Deck, but Drek. Fuck, man. I had a good time though. Yeah, but my bars is set very low for movies nowadays. Frankenstein from Guillermo del Toro. My God, you should go watch that one. It is so freaking good. If you liked the Demeter, right? There was 2 Dracula movies. You had Dracula and the Demeter, or Demeter, where Dracula arrives to United States. That was also a good movie. So much suspense. And I really liked Frankenstein. I watched it the same day. It was, in my opinion, an hour too short. I could have watched a 3.5-hour movie. You know, well, we have a proper Bride of Frankenstein, you know, the follow-up. But then there's The Bride coming with, what is there, Gally, Magenhall, and Christian Bale. So maybe you can get a little bit of an unofficial follow-up to Frankenstein. Let's see. Hey, Steve, do you have an opinion on thymosin alpha-1 for immune strengthening or illness recovery, or is it a waste of money? Winter is coming. You could look into that. Yeah. What is it? Zinc sulfate, colloidal silver can all help strengthen the immune system. It's worth running. I get a little bit of a sniffle and a cold when I drove my motorcycle. For the guys that follow me on Instagram, I drove my motorcycle, the Honda Valkyrie FC6, around the airport where there's no traffic and you could allegedly go a little bit faster than the speed limit. Allegedly, that thing goes 160 kilometers per hour. It's not bad. It's not bad for 5 gears. And then it started raining really hard, so I had to go home 40 kilometers per hour. But of course, I was not well dressed for rain, and then I got soaked, obviously, until I found the 7-Eleven where I could buy a poncho. And then I came soaked into the 7-Eleven with literally everything soaked. The roads were wet. I was probably getting like asphalt in my face or splatter from the road. And I had an open face mask. It's also not a good idea. I checked the weather report. It said no rain. So by the time I put the poncho on, I was already soaked. So I had soaked clothes underneath the poncho, and then I was eating dust from the road because it would get splash, you know, from the car in front of me, going 40 kilometers per hour because I couldn't see shit, and I was driving like this. Very irresponsible, but you know, I was on the outer lane, and then I got a little bit of a sniffle. So it only lasted 2 days. But yeah, I know, man. You don't want to get sick. Yeah. She was gagging, you know. If you push it in far enough. All right, where are we? Hey, Steve, how do I mitigate muscle pumps post weigh-in? Put on 10 kilograms holding water. What? How do I mitigate muscle pumps post weigh-in? You're talking about weigh-in for what? Powerlifting, a bodybuilding competition, arm wrestling? I don't know. Clarify, bro. I'll be looking for your name. Your name is Johns. But clarify a little bit. My UGL based in EU got Primo in stock. Only got good experience with it. Real GH, Anavar. What do you think is the likelihood the Primo is fake? Apparently, some sources sell it, but all of the sources that I work with say that it's unavailable. And I've seen the source list of the raw providers, right? Because I might select some stuff from them as well. And Primo, Asteron, and a couple other compounds are sold out. Let me whip it up. I recently got one. Is it this one? This is one of the bigger sources in China. So all the peptides are in stock. And those are all in stock. All the peptides are there. IGF-1 Des is not available. Melatonin. Oh, it must be from the recent study that melatonin causes heart failure. Let's see. This is available. Test annotate gone. NPP gone. Injectable Winstrol. Oil and water-based gone. Mastron gone. Oh, Mastron annotate is gone. Propionate is still available. Oh, these are powder. Sorry, I was just talking about... oh, Jesus. Anavar, Proviron, Turinabol, Testosterone Propionate, Annotate, Cypionate, Decanoate, Phenylpropionate, Dianabol, Primabol Annotate, Drostanolone Annotate, Drostanolone Propionate, Sustanon, Nandrolone Phenylpropionate, Testosterone Base, DHB, all gone. So what's available on their list in raw format? Trembolone acetate and annotate, Winstrol, Anadrol, Boldenone and Dislinate, and Tren hexahydrobenzocarbonate, that's parabolan. Jesus Christ, it's so expensive. What the fuck? It's more expensive than Halo. Nandrolone decanoate. Shit, man, it's slim picking. And Viagra is available. So, but that's just one source that I just whipped up. But it's, if you don't know, buy a vial, send it on to Januszek or another place where you can test, just to be sure before you order more. And then if it comes like legit, make sure you order from the same batch. Double check it, right? Take a picture before you send it into Januszek. There should be a batch number and then, verification code if it's a reputable UGL. And then you ask for the same one. Do you still have the same one? How many vials do you have left? Okay, I'll take 10. Right? And then it's very likely that it's good, unless you do a label swapping where you just print like 1,000 labels and it's all the same batches, but it's actually 5 different batches. UGL, man, you never know. So buy it, test it before you buy more. Yeah, it's kind of bad. All the peptides are available, but all the raws. How's Red Raccoon? Red Raccoon Labs. If you know, you know. Let's see. Let's have a look. Category. Oh, internet, don't be so slow. Raw powders. No. Oh, sexual health. It's like, where's all the shit? You can't really see if it's in stock or not. Oh, yeah, they have stock. Testosterone isocuprate is out of stock. Thanks, Chase. Let me just search for drostanolone. Uh-oh. Nosterone. Stock is 0. Oh, that's finished. Dromostanolone. Nope. Methanolone. Primo. Testosterone. Propionate. These are finished products. Where's the raws? God, it's slim picking, guys. It's really slim pickings right now. I love all these pre-workouts. Me at 42, not sure if drinking water during training will make me a wuss. That's what I do, man. I don't even take pre-workout anymore. I take injectable stuff like, modern aminos and some chems have great injectable pre-workouts. If I feel naughty, I take one of theirs, like Pump XXL or Super Shredder or whatever, right? All the fancy names are gone, so it's basically amino-based blend XYZ. So, you guys know the ones that I like with AMP, ATP, maybe some albuterol in there and some injectable carnitine or MIC blends with methionine and acetylcholine. But I completely stopped taking oral pre-workouts because, unfortunately, Gorilla Mind, everything has agmatine sulfate in it, and I'm old. I can't tolerate it anymore. It just makes me feel weird. I can't tolerate modafinil anymore. I can't tolerate agmatine sulfate anymore. So if I have to make something, I'd have to make it myself. It's citrulline malate and the basic cookie cutter stuff. I just don't fucking care. Anadrol beats any injectable Anadrol beats any pre-workout, over-the-counter pre-workout. Off the market. I take enough chemicals as it is. So do not become addicted to water, my friends. Hey, stay hydrated, bro. Yeah, go Steve or go home. 2,000 nanograms per deciliter. Let's go, bro. Man. Zionic, Steve, just want to thank you how grateful and appreciated we are for doing the lives to help. Hoping you have a crazy cheesecake fun by the end of the stream today. There's nothing in the cheesecake fun today. No, thank you donation. So Zionic, help a brother out. Fuck, I ate so much shit last week. I went to the movies, right? So we had Batel, that's like the local pastrami sandwich place. So we get double pastrami sandwiches, 3 different kinds I share with my wife. And we talked about this last week. And then, we go watch Predator Badlands. So I got myself a small popcorn from, man, what is this place called? No, not Pop Secret. Garrett. Garrett. So I got a small Garrett. This is about this big. Shared it with my wife. So I have like two thirds, and she has 1/3. And then I had, you have oranges and grapefruit, and then in between is pomelo. So you have yellow pomelo and red pomelo. And red pomelo is probably my favorite fruit. It's very expensive. It's like $10 for half a pomelo, but they peel it and it's all nice, so you could just fucking munch that during the movie. So I had that. Spent $5 on popcorn and $10 on fruit, which how it should be. Spend less on garbage. And then I had Ben and Jerry's and a couple donuts and a couple cookies. Yeah, I sinned hard. But I got a lot in the cheesecake fund last weekend. So even though I didn't eat cheesecake, I did get my 1,500 calories of garbage in. That's about how many calories you get from cheesecake, right? Hey, Steve, thanks for all the info over the years. Have you heard about 3AD? It's being promoted by Mark Lobliner. It changes testosterone metabolism, increasing the half-life. 3AD. If it comes from Mark Lobliner, Armored Division. No, that's not it. Androstenedione or androstenediol. So that's just a pro-hormone. Yeah, it's just a pro-hormone, dude. It doesn't change the it metabolizes into testosterone, and it can actually shut you down. So pro-hormones are for kids. Real men inject. And Mark Lobliner should know because he's sauced to the gills. 300 milligrams testosterone. Come on, Mark. Come on. You're sauced to the gills and you know it. Welcome to the Vigorous crew. Sublingual versus injectable anadrol for less liver toxicity, or are they about the same? Pills are cheaper, milligrams per milligram. I like injectable anadrol. It seems to be less liver toxic, even though you get more of the actual, anadrol in your system. The first pass you miss, obviously, but the second pass gets 100% of the dose because it's injectable. So the second pass is actually the first pass, and then it gets metabolized that way. But it's way more potent milligram per milligram, even compared to sublingual, because sublingual, I don't know, it takes 5 minutes to absorb. Yeah, it's weird. Like sublingual actually absorbs faster with injectable anadrol, but it's systemic, right? Injectable anadrol, if you train back, where's the injectable anadrol going? Into the lats. So you have, until it leaks from your skeletal muscle, you have a large portion of the injectable anadrol localized. So you pin with a slim pin right here, 50 milligrams or 25 milligrams if you're a pussy, right? 100 milligrams injectable anadrol in MCT oil, 50-50, and you start training back, and you're like, what the fuck? Every rep you do, it grows. So in the beginning, you can do narrow grips, right? Let me demonstrate. You can do narrow, like this. So you can do it in a motion where the girl is not obese yet, and then as your lats pump up, you have to go wider and wider and wider, and then the girl is like morbidly obese. So, and that happens in 12 reps. In 12 reps, you're banging a hottie to a 4. Actually, a -1. Yeah, Godzilla -1. Because that's how pumped your lats are. Right? So in the beginning, you're like, and then you have to get wider and wider and wider because your lats are so pumped. Lats so fat, you can see them from the front. Oh my God, Becky, look at his lats. They're so big. They're so round. Ew, gross. Babe's got back. If you know, you know, man. Thanks for all that you do. Prove it. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Doctor is dumb. 200 milligrams of testosterone a week for years feels great. 25 milligrams of Anavar per day recently fucked me up. 2.5 to 5 milligrams of Anavar a day feels great for me in the past. Yeah, and that seems to be a lot more sustainable, man. So take the drug out, reintroduce it at a lower dose, and then build your way up. Start low, build your way up. Did I start this cycle like 600 tests, 600 Deca, 150 MENT, 150 Tren, and 210 YK-11? No. I started with TRT, added a little bit of Deca, then I added a little bit of MENT. I ran out of MENT, I switched it for Tren. Then I found MENT again, and I ran out of Tren, so I added in the MENT. And then I found some Tren again, I added in the Tren on top, and now I added in the YK-11. So slow and steady progression to like 1,700 milligrams to 2 grams. And it's been one hell of a ride. And then I'm on 2 grams for 7 weeks. 6 weeks. Oh. Invisible dicks. Actually better. Invisible pussy, right? That's a little bit more modest. 2 would be nice. Yeah, make it rain. So it's so you go from 300 to 1,200 milligrams over the course of a year. Or 9 months, you know. It's cruising time at Christmas. No, let's go back to the MK. MK777. Why do I get all the sources that are not reputable? I said acetomorin. Acetomorin. Acetaminophen. Google AI is fucking it up. PubMed. Acetamorin. Zero scientific evidence. MK-777. Zero scientific evidence. Acetamorin, MK-777 CAS number. Guys, I had to tell it to you, but okay, it has a CAS. Does it has a CAS number? Okay, it has a CAS number. $12 per gram. You might be overpraying, dude. No, never heard of it. But if it really works, then I'm sure it will get popular, and then MK677 will be dumped to the wayside. And that's what we're going to run, but I have no interest in running it because I have real growth hormone. Let's see, I'm taking 300 milligrams per week of sustenance, split into 3 times weekly injections, and I'm looking for the next best thing to add. So, if it's the next best thing, I will introduce it to you, or I would have heard about it already, but I have not heard about it. Doesn't mean it could not be the next best thing. And sometimes you hear stuff from other people that could be the next, like I heard about SLU PP332 from Dr. Dean, which turned out to be the next best thing, especially at higher dosages. But hey, if there's no, please, when this live stream is done, find me the studies that shows that MK777 is stronger than MK677. All right? Doesn't have to be a full citation, can be the abstract, but find it to me. I couldn't find anything on PubMed just now. So, stronger means anecdotal reports from people who also sell it. We've been there before. We've heard similar stories. So, let's see. Let's see what the scientific evidence is. Currently intramuscular, 160 milligrams DADA and 480 milligrams L-Carnitine, morning and pre-workout. Seems like a lot, bro. 7 milligrams retrotidied weekly. That's fine. That's what I'm using. 60 milligrams testosterone, 500 IOS HCG every other day. So that's 60 times 3.5. 210. Yeah, okay. That's top of the reference range, maybe a little bit higher. Amazing energy, endurance, and body recomposition. Your thoughts on the protocol? I think the DADA dose at 360 milligrams per day is a little bit high. I would lower that to, I think the maximum dose clinically is 200 milligrams per day, so you're a little bit over that. I get all of the benefits at 100 milligrams. I don't notice any more benefits going from 100 to 200 milligrams. I notice the difference between 50 to 100 milligrams, but not from 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams. So doing that twice per day seems like a little bit overkill to me, but if it works, it works. But I have not reviewed all of the scientific evidence yet to tell you what kind of problem it could result in. And I've never talked to anybody who ran more than 200 milligrams DADA. And the people who run 200 milligrams DADA are the endurance athletes. So I'm not sure if you're an endurance athlete, even though you're talking about endurance. I think you're doing this for body recomposition purposes. The rest I'm fine with, man. The L-Carnitine I'm good with. 500 milligrams twice per day, 7 milligrams retrotidied weekly, 210 tests, and 1500 IOS HG over the week. Sounds good to me, man. But I don't know. The data seems a little bit excessive. But if it works, it works. You know? Oh, yeah. Voyage of the Demeter. Yeah. Joshua knows, man. He knows all the fucking shit. This guy's a living library of of paraphernalia. I think Joshua Perry wrote... what was that? I forget all these names of these movies, man. The sci-fi movie with all the all the references. I totally forgot about it. Anyway, it was a recent movie. I'm sure Joshua Perry knows. He wrote the movie that I forgot the name about. Gaggy Milno, yeah. I don't think anybody would want to make her gag, man. Her brother, yeah. I think her brother gets more dick than Maggie Gallo. Did you take any time off training when your daughter arrived? Got a son coming in February and wondered how long I should stop. Plan off training. I think I took like 5 days off or a week off. Like I trained the day before. My wife was scheduled to go in for just a checkup, and then her contraction started pretty much that day. She had one contraction, and then her blood pressure was 100 or 210 over 150 or something, 180. And then I looked at her and said, "Hey, I don't want to have a vegetable as a wife, so let's do the C-section." She's like, let's do the fucking C-section. It's the prenatal hypertension. It's fucking insane. So she had one contraction, then it was job done. And then I think I spent a week home, so I took a week off from the gym, and then I went back to the gym. My wife took about 3 weeks off, and then she felt strong enough after the C-section to go back to the gym, and now she goes 3 times a week. I go 5 times. So, but do what's right, man. If you want to spend 3 months at home, fucking do it. Spend the time. Help your wife. You can always train, man. You can always train. You don't want to miss. They grow up so fast, man. My daughter's 5 months old now. Almost 5 months old. And I remember when I held her in one hand, 2.5 kilos. I thought she was 3.2, but I guess the sonographer did a poor job measuring her. But she's very long for her age. So she's, I think, like 60 centimeters already. Or no, 62, 64, something like that. She's like getting to the top of the growth curve, but her weight is pretty much in the middle. So she's lean and long. She'll definitely be a model. But every time I pick her up from the crib or from bed, she's taller, dude. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Are you, an alien? Are you a xenomorph growing to full adult size in a day? And I'm sure with your son as well. So spend the time, man. Take as much time off training you can, because you don't get that time back. And this is why I didn't go to the Olympia. I didn't want to miss that shit, man. And of course, I'm going to the Arnold Classic. Then my daughter will be 9 months old or 8 months old. So, but I'm sure I'll miss a lot, and I'll feel very guilty while I'm there. I'm sure of it, because every day is new, man. Every day is different. It starts to babble a little bit more, or recognize stuff, or it's amazing, dude. So take as much time as you need off from the gym to spend with your son and your wife or partner or whatever you got going on, because every day you miss, you will not get back. Training, you can do anytime, man. I mean, look at me and Chase. We're sauced to the gills and fucking huge, even though we got kids. Chubbs. Oh, here's the arm wrestling competition. Okay, so you wanted to... what did you want to know? What was the question again? Where is it? Where is she? Man, where the fuck is your super chat? What? Did you delete it? Am I retarded? Are you retarded? No, I can't find it. Anyway, so you talked about pumps after the weigh-in, right? Don't put on too much weight then. If you're up 10 kilos, then you just load it too hard. Where the fuck is it? Yeah, you probably just ate too much. And of course, with arm wrestling, are you the same guy that asked last week that you took drugs that ruined your arm wrestling? Right? You got too much cramps and stuff, which I explained. I said, listen, if there's a drug causing too much cramps and you're losing stamina, even though it gives you strength, then, and in the beginning, if you don't close a deal in a second, then you're fucked, because the longer you hold your arm, the longer you have the chance of what's the scar? Oh, cat. I'm playing with my cats, so you love your cats, but they fucking scratch the shit out of you if you're not looking, if you're not careful. I love you. Whoosh, whooshing, and you're fucked. So whatever you did, take the drugs out that cause you cramps, and don't do the food loading again to the point you gain 10 kilos and you're pumped all the time, right? You're overdoing it. You're simply overdoing it. And overdoing it means diminishing returns. You got to do enough to win. You don't got to do more than everybody else to win. That usually doesn't work in your favor. Chubbs, thanks. $2 for the Cheesecake Fund. Linus, when an oral Winstrol or Anavar daily for 3 weeks pre-contest, maximum 30 milligrams, what AST or LT should be? You're doing a contest, dude. You want to win, right? Shut the fuck up. Stop using. You're doing it for 3 weeks maximum. Whatever your liver enzymes end up at, that's what it's going to be. You're doing a competition to win. Otherwise, you're not taking the Winstrol or the Anavar and you're not doing the competition. There's risk involved. So if it's 200 and you win, who the fuck cares? Take your Tatka and shut the fuck up. You know, is your bilirubin in range? Is your albumin in range? Your globulin? Is your lipids will be destroyed, your SHBG will be in the gutter, and your liver enzymes will be high. This is the deal you made, man. It's 30 milligrams. So you can freak out when you have jaundice. You can freak out when you have diarrhea. You can freak out when you pee blood. But if you're doing a competition and you're worried about 30 milligrams Anavar or Winstrol and liver enzymes being elevated, pick up chest, bro. My liver enzymes are around 100. I'm fine with it. You know? You're doing a show. You're there to win. Otherwise, don't do a show. What high altitude mountain climbing stack would you do to increase our red blood cells and reduce the chances of altitude sickness? I would suggest you to watch the endurance deep dive. It's too much to get into. But hypoxin and EPO would be something to look into, which I can't. EPO, it's dangerous. Just like insulin protocols, it's very hard to customize. Mr. H2O, 1984. And look at those legs, bro. Holy shit. I'm moving to Bangkok in 3 weeks, so I'll be canceling all my memberships. Memberships of what? Pornhub? No more brassers, bro. I'm going straight to the source. No more Netflix, bro. No more OnlyFans. Going straight to the source. One last non-PED super chat. He's canceling his member super chat. So he's taking his $10 and he's just going to harass me at the gym. Hey Steve, what do you think about MK6 in the middle of a set? You know, I heard that MK77 is way more potent. Which one would you pick? Honda ADV 160, PCS 160, or GPX DZ3? Since they're all similar price, I'm used to leader bikes, but a smaller one seems better for traffic. Hashtag cheesecake. Yeah, with $100, that's a lot of cheese. That's a whole freaking cheesecake, for sure. I would go with a Honda ADV 350 or 750 because they're narrow enough to go in between traffic. I know several people who have a Honda ADV 750, and they are absolutely fantastic. So if you're moving to Bangkok in 3 weeks, don't buy a new bike. Just buy a second hand. There's D-Bike Bangkok. I'll link it down below. I'm checking there every day to see if they have something fun. Thunder Bike. Thunder Superbike. They have a warehouse. It's fucking insane. Link down below. One sec, I'll update it. Then we have Big Sail Bike. Well, Big Sail Bike, Facebook page. Facebook. Come on, man. For fuck's sake, Google. Google is turning into shit, man. You can't even find anything. Big Sail or Big Bike Sale. What is it? Yeah, there it is. Sail Bike Rama 2. All right. There we go. Then we have Table Store. If you want crazy bikes, go to Table Store. That's where I got my DNO1. That guy has bikes that you've never seen, dude. Big scooter shop. Big scooter shop. And then Saks. It was also got some crazy bikes. Saks. Yeah, for $100, you get your fucking money worth, man. Let that be a lesson to all. All right. Save. It's all linked down below. These are secondhand shops. You can get crazy motorbikes for pretty much half price. And they have all kinds of cool motorbikes. I would suggest you just to have a look at their portfolio. Like here, Scrambler Ducati from Cafe Racer from 2017. 10,000 kilometers, 150,000 baht. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, $4,500, $5,000. Excellent condition. That's from Saks. I got my Honda Valkyrie. He posted it. I sent him a message. Do you have any sellers? Say, one guy I have finances that I'm coming tomorrow, 1 o'clock. I'll buy it cash. He's like, okay. And then I drove it back for 2.5 hours. So that's how you get the experience with the bike. You just buy it out of town and then drive it back. It's a little bit of a hassle to get it on under your name. But if you move here, you got a permanent address, then it's pretty doable. What is he selling? Fat Boy EVO, Harley Davidson, Triumph Bonneville Bobber. Did these guys have so many secondhand bikes? Yeah, but I would get a Honda. Honda are the most reliable bikes in this weather. Yamaha PCX is okay. GPX I wouldn't do. It's nobody drives those, and they're not very reliable based compared to Honda. So if you want something reliable in this kind of weather that doesn't break down, get a Honda, or maybe a Yamaha. Japanese bikes are the most reliable. Harley Davidsons are not reliable in this weather, unfortunately. Kawasaki is doable, but it's all sports bikes, right? So sports bikes are not very reliable in this kind of weather with these kinds of road conditions. MV Agusta, no. Royal Enfield, reliable. I have Suzuki Hayabusa. Triumph is reliable. It's basically the same weather. Same shitty British weather. And motherfucker, if you get a Triumph Rocket 3, let me ride it for a day. We'll do a day exchange, right? I'll ride the Triumph 3, and you can go on my Valkyrie F6C, 1800 cc's versus 2500 cc's. But no, if you're used to leader bikes, just get something similar, but get something narrow. And there's plenty of narrow bikes out there. So with the secondhand shops that I just recommended, just look at their portfolio and then just go there. Bring your passport, bring proof of funds that you have at least, I don't know, these you can buy for what, 80,000 to 100,000 baht. Secondhand, new would be a little bit more, depending on the year and the mileage and what if you want an old rackety bike, just get a PCX, 150, 160, and you just drive it into the ground, 50,000 baht, you're done. But if you want a leader bike, then yeah, you have to spend a little bit more money. Just go to the shops and try out a few bikes and place a deposit given your passport, and then figure out what you want to ride, But there's so many options, man. There's so many options. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then we're going to keep going for another hour. Be right back. Unmuted. All right. And by the way, if you're looking for an NM4, a Honda NM4, I'll link this page as well. Is the Honda NM4 Thailand Club. It's a group. They have 2 NM4s for sale. So one is black NM4, modified a little bit, red seats, 190,000 baht. There's one that's 33,000 kilometers, 250,000 baht, and another one for sale. So have a look at that Facebook group. I think there's only 20 NM4s in Thailand. And they're amazing rides. So if you want an automatic, because you're asking for ADV, PCX, or GPX, those are all automatic bikes, right? But if you want a little bit more cc's, Honda NM4 has 700 cc's, so that's close to a liter. But it's automatic, so it's basically the high cc automatic bike you can get. Man, it's a little bit wider though, so it's difficult to go in between traffic. But these things, they fucking glide, dude. It's literally like a spaceship. Right, it looks like this. Let me show it to you. Is it flippable? Like this. I mean, this fucking thing, dude. Look at the front. Look at that. Isn't that insane? I mean, it's not as insane as the Valkyrie, but it's insane enough. Yeah. It's 1800 cc's. Just focus, man. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to black out the engine. Oh, black out the engine and the exhaust. Oh, Jesus. So this I'm going to black out, and this I'm going to black out. Already blacked out the front. So it's going to be my black. And then guess what? Color the rims white. Powder coat the rims white. Powder coat the seat white. You get not an underglow kit, but what is it called? Where is it? It's already on the way. A Moto Glow. So it's like an LED strip that you put in between the fairings. Of course, it's LED RGB strips, right? So you can, I'll link it down below. So you put that in between the fairings, so you get the highlights of the fairings. And then it's going to be my Tron bike, baby. Dude, if you're moving to Thailand, step one is buying a bike. You get your driver's license if you have international, but you still need to get a Thai driver's license. And then you modify the shit out of it. What everybody does here, we all modify our bikes. It's so much fun. You turn into a fucking Christmas tree, and then the police will remember, man. Like, the police remembers my 4 bikes. Every time I go through a blockade at Tonglor or Onnut or at Sinakarin or even at the airport at Bang Nai Road, and like, hey, it's that guy. It's the fucking muscular, roided up fucking bodybuilder who also has a Thai driver's license, and his paperwork is all legit. So they stop me, they squeeze my biceps, and I flex really hard. And then they look at my bike, and I'm like, how many cc's is this one? It's 1800 cc's. Hey, can you rev it for us? Because guess what? All the police officers, they love motorbikes too. So you rev the fucking Valkyrie to 7,000 cc RPMs, and it makes such a unique noise, man. It's absolutely phenomenal. And they're like, oh my God. And they call their friends, start taking pictures, front double biceps. Dude, you make friends for life. You make friends for life. Just make sure you have a helmet on and a valid driver's license or a motorcycle license, and these cops will be gawking on what you're driving. But they won't be gawking on the Honda ADV 160, PCX 160, or GPX. You got to get an NM4 or there above. All right, that's. I hope your $100 is well spent, bro. Xavier. Is there any way to improve absorption blood levels of testosterone endothelium? My levels are barely 1,200 total on 300 milligrams split into 3 shots. That's a bit low. I would change brands. Yeah, this sounds too low. That sounds like 150 milligrams, maybe 200 milligrams. But hey, maybe you're a fast metabolism, you know. It's metabolized through the cytochrome 3A4 enzymes, which you can inhibit with fluvoxamine or grapefruit juice. But fluvoxamine is a bit of a commitment, and grapefruit juice is a little bit less commitment. But it also prevents the breakdown of other things. So if you're taking medications that go through the CYP3A4, then those will also be prevented the breakdown thereof. So deep intramuscular injections instead of SubQ, but your brand is probably underdosed. So I would change brands and send it into testing. Right? And in some of the sources, testosterone enanthate is not available, so maybe they're diluting it. Or maybe it's 100 milligrams test probe. You never know, man. Send it in for testing. It sucks. I was looking forward to the Follistatin 344 deep dive. What happened? Well, Follistatin 344 was not that exciting, and I had a daughter. And then my priorities changed. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I got things that are way more important than making deep dives for a compound that I know will not increase affiliate sales. So the ROI is not there. It was a great experiment. It didn't change my blood work parameters much. It was pretty much the same. I had a deep, intense contraction that was comparable to YK-11. But when you compare the cost of 30 milligrams YK-11 versus 1 milligram Follistatin 344, $80 Follistatin 344 versus, what is it, $3, $5 per injection. It's very easy. You go in injectable YK-11. 2 weeks oral YK-11 is not as potent as 2 weeks, sublingual YK-11 is not as potent as 2 weeks injectable YK-11. And I'm going to run injectable YK-11 for 6-7 weeks. And I can tell you right now, this has been the first week. It's the same feeling as Follistatin 344, but I'm also on a much heavier steroid cycle. So there's some extra play in there. Last time I was on 600 milligrams test and 1 milligram, 600 milligrams test per week. And 1 milligram Follistatin 5 times per week on workout days. And then SubQ on rest days. So it's intramuscular on workout days, split bilaterally, and then SubQ on rest days. I did it for 2 weeks. I was mad fucking lethargic. And then I took 1 week off. No, I did it for 1 week. Then I was mad fucking lethargic. And then my daughter was born. And then I did it for 2 more weeks, I think. Or around time, I took a week off from the gym. Man, I need to get into my notes. I think I did it around the time my daughter was born, but I'm not really sure. It's been months. Anyway, I took a break because it was lethargic as fuck. Like, I was dead, dude. I couldn't move, right? And at that time, I didn't feel like I could afford it. I was getting hypoglycemia at certain points, but I also got that from high-dose SLU. It was a fun experiment. I'm glad I didn't pay for the Follistatin 344. Thank you so much, Modern Aminos and Billy Gus, for donating the Follistatin 344. But the results that I got from it were not as, from a cost to benefit perspective, not anywhere close to YK-11. That's why I'm running YK-11 now as a Follistatin secretagogue, allegedly based on the animal models. Even though the deep contraction and the recovery of Follistatin 344 was better than the YK-11 with 600 tests, I feel that injectable YK-11 with growth hormone and Increlex is just more beneficial and way cheaper, even though I didn't pay for any of it because, well, I get this shit for free. So the deep dive is on the to-do list. When it will drop, I could say next week, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm having so much fun spending hours with my daughter. It's way more important to me. It's way more important to me than work. It's way more important to me than other stuff. And I've been working to this point where I basically semi-retired for 25 years, and this is the point. So when will it drop? I don't know. When will the Nandrolone deep dive drop? I don't know. I'm finally living my life, dude. I'm finally living the life that I wanted. So please allow me for however long I need. Because I've been working my fucking ass off for years, and financially I'm doing really good. Well, I'm down Thanks to crypto, I was down from the top more than you guys would want to know. I lost so much money in trading fees trying to break the correct bottom again. So yeah, it's insane. It's insane. You guys would never want to super chat me again. Just the money I lost on trading fees, but yeah. I have different priorities, guys. Sorry. No, how did I miss this? Any chance of getting a roundtable with Chase Irons and Alex Keuchel for 2026? Chase Irons? Yeah, sure. Yeah, Alex. I'm good. I'm good, guys. I'm good. I'm going to have to bow out on that one. But Chase, anytime, dude. Unfortunately, Chase got banned off of YouTube, and it's a little bit risky to do a podcast collaboration with him. Of course, I posted all of the clips of the previous podcast collaborations with links to his Rumble just to get his Rumble going. But it looks like he will not be back. The people that I know with YouTube, I asked multiple times. They didn't get any updates with the contacts that they have. And, he's not restored yet, so... It's unfortunate. I think one of the competitors just keep reporting his new YouTube content, and that's kind of pathetic. But that's the world we live in, right? Sometimes you make an enemy, and then you make an enemy for life. You don't even know who it is or why. People just don't want to see your success. That's probably why Paul got shut down and I got shut down. But luckily, me and Paul were able to get back. I mean, with Chase, maybe he was promoting Omega Aminos too hard, in the start of the video. So you never really know. You never get an explanation from YouTube. So we could do a podcast collaboration on Rumble, and I'm sure we'll shoot some content when we meet for the Arnold Classic, because Chase will own my fucking ass for 3 days because he's flying me out. So he gets to tell me what to do, where to go, when to breathe, when to shit, and when to eat. Because he's the one sponsoring the whole event. We got a nice Airbnb somewhere in Columbus, Ohio. Looks very, very nice. And he paid for my flight, business class. So Chase owns my ass. So if he wants to do reach arounds, then that's what it's going to be. I wouldn't mind. Chase is hot, and he knows it. He's bald too, like me. I'm from Chicago. I'm pretty stoked that you guys have Garrett's there. Yeah. We have Cheesecake Factory. We have Garrett's. We have strip clubs. Way better than the United States. You'll like it here, man. Come say hi at the Muscle Factory when you're here. 9 o'clock. That's when I'm there. And otherwise, I'm at Unreal Gym. But most of the time, I'm at Muscle Factory. And then I'll teach you everything you need to know. Shoot me an email or shoot me a DM from Instagram. And then I can check your profile for the Thailand Starter Kit. For all of the guys that want the Thailand Starter Kit with closed profiles, or it looks like you don't work out, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. Keep the sources safe. If you work out, you look like a customer who can actually use the sources that I'm recommending, right? By buying boatloads of gear, then yes. But if you look like a guy that's fat, you're not going to buy shit. You're going to buy one vial of testosterone. I'm not going to share my sources with you. Go to the pharmacy. Or you look like a guy that has no money. I'm not going to share my sources with you because you're going to contact them for a vial of test and then ask for a discount, and then you mention my name, and then it's my fault, right? They can source contact me. Like, why do you send this fucking degenerate fucking loser over to me to buy one vial of test and then get a discount? It happened before, man. But you're talking about bikes moving here permanently and you look fucking jacked, you can get the source list, man. Shoot me a DM. And make sure you have the same pictures. Thoughts on Innova Farm Genesis 1? I have no idea what that is. Innova 1. Is that a source check? This is what, fucking oral supplements? Yeah, so it looks like bullshit. There's a lot of these sources out there that claim to have steroid-like gains, And let me just have a look before the owner contacts me and they start bitching. You know, can't have an opinion nowadays. What is it? Proprietary blend of standardized embryonic humaniform matrix yielding naturally occurring growth factors. Yeah. All right. Don't waste your money, dude. Well, if it has growth factors, it will all be broken down in the stomach. So, if you want growth factors, fucking inject them. Yay, $5 for the Cheesecake Fund. Following your 2-to-1 test, the Primo ratio for my TRT has been great. There you go. $5 for the Cheesecake Fund. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, flying dicks, man. Was that the one you're laughing about? Fuck, am I 40 minutes behind? Holy shit. Well, then I'm going to have to put on the banner. Oh, no, I'm that far behind? Jesus Christ. All right, guys, this is the last one, because otherwise I won't make it. So, Jam, this is the last super chat I'm going to answer. Guys, don't do it. I'm not going to answer it because I'm 40 minutes behind, and I want to quit this live stream at about 2.5 hour mark. So this is the last. Here's money from Julian and Jam, and that's it. So please don't super chat again because I'm way behind. I didn't realize I was 40 minutes behind on the chat. All right. I asked last week about testosterone and Anavar for calisthenics, bodyweight, and kettlebell training. Would there be a different combo stack for most gains while not being able to access gym? No, I think Test and Anavar is good. You can always add in a little bit of growth hormone, but beyond TRT and a little bit of Anavar, turinabol, you need actually heavy weights to be in a hypertrophy state. And the calisthenics, okay, your body weight increases, and thus you get stronger, so it's a vicious circle, but at one point you'll max out. And kettlebells, I mean, are you doing the 80 kilo kettlebells? So no, I would just do test environment. Big Jaw Dawes says he's a huge fan. 1 year on TRTs, slowly ramping up. 80 kilograms, 183 centimeters, 80% body fat. Goals of beach body. Last 2 months on 375 milligrams testosterone cypionate, 1 milligram Rita per week, I'm assuming, or per day. Here is his levels. Okay, disappointed with the progress, more time or review training and nutrition. At 18% body fat at 183 centimeters, you have very little muscle, and you're taking more testosterone than you need. So you're probably under eating for the muscle mass to increase, and you have under activity for your fat loss to go down. So you need to do more, and you need to do better. And you probably need a coach, because if you're disappointed with the progress up until this point, then you can't do it alone. So just hire a coach, let them take the reins, and then watch your body transform, man, because they know what to do. Poe for the Cheesecake Fund. All right, $15. Thanks so much, Jake. Highly appreciate it. It's 2 cheesecakes. It's 1 cheesecake at Cheesecake Factory. MK677 had no results 2 months, gave up 20 milligrams oral. Yeah, maybe you're too old. You can only get so much growth hormone secretion at a certain age. Or maybe you needed to run 30 milligrams. Or maybe the MK677 was bunk. I mean, you never know, man. D-Brad, above 3.5 milligrams retatrutide, I noticed that it burns carbs. I go hypo if I eat less than 150 net carbs. Well, it slows digestion, so it doesn't burn carbs. It slows the digestion to the point you go hypoglycemic. And with the glucagon, right, and the GLP increase, right, you might modulate your insulin release, and thus you go hypoglycemic, and the net carbs are not hitting your system fast enough. So maybe you need to go into a ketogenic state and drop the carbs altogether, right? I'm having about 150 grams of carbs. Now that's now 100 grams of carbs, and I sometimes go hypoglycemic, but it's probably from all the drugs and the training intensity. Thoughts on transdermal BPC TB500 for knee rehab? I would just inject it. I'm not sure if they can permeate. I'm not sure if the molecule is smart enough, but I know GHK copper does something topically, makes your skin looks younger, but knee rehab, that's obviously a few layers down. And I'm not sure if BPC 157 or TB 500 would permeate that deep. So I would inject it as close to the injury problem or the problematic area as possible. Josh, I showed you a question on anabolic bodybuilding. Big Paul live last week. Make anybody laugh. Oh, okay. All right. Can GHK copper help to prevent loose skin during fat loss? Does anything else help to keep the skin tight in general? Yes, some people report that they ran GHK copper the entire way through and that they didn't really have loose skin. Some people ran it and it didn't change anything. Some people report that Anavar tightens their skin or running, for example, tightens their skin. Right? It seems to really help with cellulite in women, running. You can try the corticosteroid creams, but it's risky if it goes systemic. Right? Then you have catabolic activity everywhere. Didn't I make a video about this? Loose skin. Oh, stubborn body fat areas, I think. That's the video. Yeah, stubborn body fat. I discuss loose skin. I'll link it down below. I could make that video again. It's been 2 years. Oh, it's been 1 year. So give that video a watch. I can't remember, but it's, I think in that video I discuss methods to remove the loose skin. If you got post-injection pain from white fluid Masteron enethate with the halfway on label, could it be injectable Winstrol? What? Masteron enethate is clear. If it's white, it's Winstrol or denatured peptides. Yeah. Linus, I think you need to do some research, man. Your questions are a little bit, I don't know, noobish. Guys, welcome to the Vigorous crew. Yo, Steve, I'm in the States and have access to the ECA stack, 25 milligrams ephedrine, 200 milligrams caffeine 2 times daily. What about the aspirin, 81 milligrams baby aspirin? Wondering if I could use the ECA stack with high-dose SLU PP332, maybe 50 milligrams a day. Yes. A stimulant and a mitochondrial enhancer, yeah. Let's see, and titrate up to 300 milligrams daily along with 5 milligrams rituximab weekly and methylene blue, 10 milligrams 3 times weekly. Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. It sounds like a synergistic stack. You could add in mirabegron for the beta-3 adrenergic response, and you could add in MOTC for a little bit more energy. But yeah, I'm not against that stack. I don't like the ECA stack myself because of the ephedrine, and I can't even run it here in Thailand because it shows up as methamphetamines on a drug test, and they do drug test people riding motorcycles in the middle of the night. So I've never been drug tested here in Thailand, luckily, but I would not want to have ephedrine in my system and then being purple on the test and then have to explain that. And ephedrine is a controlled substance here. So last time I ran ephedrine, it was 20 milligrams injectable ephedrine twice per day from Korea. The Korean brand, pharmaceutical injectable ephedrine, 20 milligrams twice per day during the World Championships. Because I was not allowed to sleep, dialing in 17 athletes. I lost 5 kilos of fat that week. It was great. So no, I'm not against that stack. Let us know how it goes. 100 IU Blue Tops is cheaper than 2 bottles MK677. Well, there you have it. All right. Generics is cheaper, dude. What dosage of growth hormone is best to take to avoid mass water retention but still get a great boost in the gym and recovery? Usually people start to notice water retention from 2 IUs onwards. So if you keep it at 1 to 2 IUs, you might have a small boost in the gym and a small boost in the recovery. But with growth hormone, more is better regarding boosting in the gym and recovery. But that also means more water retention. IGF doesn't have water retention. So if you want a similar boost in recovery and gym performance, go with IGF-1. You'll spend way more, but you don't retain any water. That's why I like Increlex, because you have no water retention. It doesn't make me sleepy, increase my IGF-1 levels and my recovery. I've been doing 2 milligrams Increlex every single workout. Good shit. No question. I use the search function. You and nobody else. Just wanted to say thank you for all of the content. Only downside of subscribing, I have a cheesecake addiction now. But on the upside, I'm doing my daily fasted cardio. See? So you get all the oral fixation and pleasures, but none of the fat gain. And you use the search function, so all of your questions are already answered. Bus, I wish, well, then of course I wouldn't have a cheesecake fund to begin with. But Bus, more people should follow in your footsteps. Curious, your take. With pump blends dosed at 100 milligrams arginine and 100 milligrams citrulline per milliliter, is that enough to notice anything at all, or basically below the clinical threshold? Yeah, so with those pump blends with amino acids like arginine or citrulline or carnosine, you need a couple milliliters to really notice the difference. But yeah, just AMP beats all of them out of the water. Just go with 40 milligrams AMP, 5 milligrams ATP. Man, the pumps that you get from that, holy moly. Insane shit. I'm just going to ask you about SARM and height protocols the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know a crocodile farm, not too far. You want a one-way trip sponsored by me? What happened to Mr. H2O? So I'm wearing him right now. You see this belt? Let's get some DNA from and amino acids from Mr. H2O. Never want to send you on a permanent vacation. Hey, Papa Steve, in a sticky sit right now. Off cycle 2 weeks ago, TRT now, so you're still in cycle. Or still on testosterone. Lab showed 7 red blood cell count, 56% hematocrit, about a 16 ferritin, 90 serum iron. What's the best option here for hematocrit and reducing it? I would go and hydrate it the next time. It's that simple. You can bring this down so much by going in hydrated. So drink water, stay hydrated, and this will automatically come down. And otherwise, it will come down in 3 months. So you stay hydrated for 3 months, or you can donate. You'll lose ferritin and iron as well. But the red blood cell count and hematocrit percentage will come down quite rapidly, 2%, 3%, or 2 to 3 points off your hematocrit. And maybe half, 0.5, right, on your red blood cell count, maybe 0.75. If you go and dehydrated, your concentration of your red blood cells and hematocrit is higher, obviously. So for a single donation of a pint, you get more out. Yeah, take some aspirin, baby aspirin, to make your blood thin, and then it would just literally gush out, and the back fills up in like 5 minutes. Big Jaws. My lipids are all in range despite being on Accutane. Okay, that's good. The exception is my HDL is very low. Yes, so that's a side effect of Accutane, that it crushes your HDL. What can I do to increase it? Already doing my daily fasted cardio. So what's proven to increase HDL levels? Ketogenic diet, high fat intake, low carb intake, keeping your estradiol high at the top of the reference range or slightly over it. So let's say 40 to 50 picograms per milliliter. Fish oil, 3,000 milligrams per day. That's EPA and DHA combined, so you might need 5,000 milligrams of fish oil or 10,000 milligrams of fish oil if you have low potency. But there's high potency, 800 milligrams EPA and DHA fish oil on the market for a 1 milligram capsule. That's what I take every single meal, 5 times per day. So I get 3,600 milligrams EPA and DHA, and my HDL levels are good. SLU PP332 might be able to increase HDL slightly. Cardrine might be able to increase HDL slightly. Amla extract, citrus bergamot, and I think that's about it. And daily fasted cardio, obviously. So, yeah. And coming off the Accutane, right? Keeping your HDL high is a matter of what you don't take than what you take, which is not what you want to hear. Thanks, I will check all those places out. Yeah, or 30 minutes behind. Steve, the ATP blends like 40 milligrams ATP and 5 milligrams AMP per milliliter. Oh, yeah, I got it mixed up. I said 40 milligrams AMP and 5 milligrams ATP, right? But I guess it's the other way around. Do people actually feel anything from those doses? Yeah, dude, those doses are insane, man, or too small. No, half a cc of that. So 20 milligrams ATP and 2.5 milligrams AMP split by injected bilaterally. So that's 40 milligrams ATP, 5 milligrams AMP total. Your chest, if you inject that in your chest or your arms, they'll be pumped twice as big. And if you combine it with insulin, Increlex, and injectable Anadrol, it'll be 3 times as big. So this fucking works, man. If you take 1 cc per side, Oh man, boobas. Boobas galore. Yes, indeed. Okay, so that we answered. Ryan Clen, 40 micrograms for 2 months, stopped for 10 days, want to taper up and do it again for 3 weeks this time. Is 10 day enough for resensitize or wait a bit more? No, that should be enough, man. And then run it with 0.5 milligram or 1 milligram ketotifen before bed. It makes you drowsy, but it makes your potency of clenbuterol significant. And then I would start with 20 micrograms again, so you don't get yourself a heart attack. Monoglow's good shit. Yeah, he knows. Yeah, I got XK Max on the way. Nix Glow is pre-ordered, and then the Moto Glow from Relight Ride. Yeah, I can't wait to put all of that on. Hey Steve, I'll be flying to Dubai from Italy in 2 weeks at the end of the month. Currently on 750 milligrams test, 300 mass a week. Would you bring anything? I have some Andekinate and sesame oil just in case. Every time I flew to Dubai, I brought shit with me. I got checked twice, and twice it was not an issue. But I only brought enough for the time that I was there. So if you're going 2 weeks, only bring enough so that's 1 vial test, 1 vial mass strong. All right? That should be more than enough. And if you're worried, then source it there in the gym. Allegedly, some guy will show up to your condominium or Airbnb or a hotel with a suitcase, and then you can choose. Allegedly. But you can just ask around when you get to the gym, man. Bodybuilders are the best guys. It happens in Thailand all the time. Where do I go to the pharmacy? And I'll send them the list, and then or I hook them up. You know, it's the bodybuilders will share it with you, man. J-Dog, what are your thoughts about SLU PP332 and WADA NCA drug testing? Is there something that would show up? As far as I know, it's not on the list. So what about something like testosterone? I think testosterone is on the list. But you just go to the WADA list and you see which drugs are on the list. And then it's a matter of figuring out the detection time. Which I have no idea of SLU PP332 and the detection time. Or if it's even on the list. As far as I know, it's not on the list. I know I have a difficult name, but you can call me G. All right, what's up, G? What's the max daily dose of injectable GHK copper for loose skin? I think some people run up to 10 milligrams per day. Yeah. But, again, will it be effective? That's highly individual. Should it be split into multiple injections? How long can I safely run it? I have no idea about the duration, but when you see your copper levels exceed the levels which are suitable for men, then you need to run, maybe a little bit of zinc, because they go through similar pathways. So maybe 25 milligrams of zinc and 10 milligrams GHK copper, which is 17% copper. So it will be 10, I think, right? You can calculate this based on a molecular weight. So you get 1.7 milligrams of copper per day, which is basically, is that 17%? I don't know, you can calculate it yourself. But if you go 10 milligrams GHK copper, you get close to the daily recommended intake of 2 milligrams per day. And then you have to see if your multivitamin doesn't contain copper, if you don't get copper from your supplements, if you cook in a copper, cooking pot or use a copper kettle, right? It can also leak into your food or your drinks. So check your copper levels if you go high dose GHK copper, and I think you can run it for as long as you need. The post-injection pain will be brutal, though. That's why I didn't run the Glow more than 2 weeks, because I'm just sick of the post-injection pain, man. And I can tolerate a lot, dude. Hell yeah, bro. Congrats on a kid and the family. Got 2 kids of my own and totally get how busy you are. Take your time with the uploads, man. All right, thanks. Much appreciated, dude. Priorities. Adulting. Ugh. I'm not even going to read that. Serum iron is low in range. Ferritin is below 16. I have access to Thera, phlebotomy, anything. I don't want to crash my iron. Yeah, but you can supplement with iron and bring that up real fast. So if your iron is low, supplement with 80 milligrams iron ferrous bisglycinate, and then you bring it up real fast, man. So you can donate and bring your iron and ferritin levels up with supplemental iron. Take it before bed, otherwise it might make you constipated. Januvia testing is showing dosed at 240 milligrams per milliliter. When deep muscular injection cause more fluctuations in stability levels, I injected SubQ for estrogen reasons. I'll try the grapefruit trick. Oh, really? Yeah, then your levels are quite low. Maybe you're a high metabolizer. But if you're injecting SubQ, maybe, I mean, it does show lower levels because it's more stable. Maybe go intramuscular for a while, see how high your levels are on intramuscular, right? You were doing 300 milligrams a week, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, maybe go IM for a while for 4 weeks and then check your levels again. But hey, man, if it's 250 or 300 milligrams per milliliter and you get back at 240, change fucking brands, man. Should be 250 at least. When is the next Muscle Nomads? When Aaron gets back to Thailand, which is in a couple weeks. Julian, thank you. Cheesecake Fund, another $10. Hey, bro, do you have any info on imeglimin as an alternative to metformin? No, I don't. Never heard of that either. Everybody's looking for the next best thing. Again, guys, if there's a next best thing, you'll probably hear it here first. Master, Jesus, how do you explain that BBS managed to keep their supernatural size with lower calories and lower PEDs doses after blasting? Bodybuilders manage to keep their supernatural size, lower calories, and lower PD dosages after blasting humongous amounts of good stuff. Yeah, some people just retain their size. Like, I met Dennis James, and it looks like he's on a full-blown cycle, and he barely injects. I think he's like on 100 milligrams a test on average or something. Some people just stay big, man. If I stop training and stop injecting, I shrink to nothing. If I stop injecting and I train, I shrink, but I still look like something. But if I do both, within 6 months, I'll look like an average dude. Everybody's different. Or they're lying, you know? Or they're lying. But look at Jay Cutler, man. He's on TRT, 200 milligrams. He barely eats. And he's fucking jacked. He's fucking huge. But look at him when he was 18. You know? Look at him when he was Mr. Olympia. Yeah, people are different, man. People are born different. BMX Shark. Any tips for side injections for daily SubQ? I said 6 to 8% body fat year round. Only have some fat left on the glutes and lower back. I want to do a cycle again in February. Need to avoid chest back pimples this time. Yeah, just do it all in the glutes. That's what I do. I do all my shots in the glutes. My steroid cycle is intramuscular because it's high volume now. And all the peptide shots are in my glutes. So my glutes are a little bit chunky from the inflammation from all the shots that I'm doing. But everywhere else is nicely striated. You know, my shoulders nicely striated. Yeah, that's fuck. Look at these tan lines. Farmer's tan. Hey, look at this shit. Man, it's so tight. All right. You can't really see it in this light, but everything is separated. So I don't inject anywhere that you could see besides my wife. So everything goes in the glutes. And there's like, you know, the ventral glute, the mid glute, and the back glute, and then the other side, 3 sides. So I basically pin the same spot every 6 days. And then a SubQ, I do so many injections. I fuck Mod C, 0.5 milligram twice a day. SS31, 0.5 milligram, sometimes 1 milligram twice per day. And then carnitine twice per day. With NAD plus in the same syringe, 10 milligrams, and then maybe injectable pre-workout, but that's intramuscular, and then injectable glutathione. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So my booty does not look nice, but everything else looks nice. I forgot to write a super chat. What are your thoughts on 200 milligrams test, 200 Primo? Do I use growth hormone first cycle? How would I tell if the Primo is legit? Send it in for testing. And start with just 200 tests first. Because 400 milligrams off the bat, it might be a lot. And again, we don't know if your Primo is legit. There's a Primo shortage out there. So just start with 200 tests. Check your blood levels 4 weeks into it. See if you need an aromatase inhibitor. And then you can decide, then you should get the results from your Primo testing back. So you can decide to either run aromasin or add in the Primo. But I mean, 400. You can get great results off 200 milligrams already. So 200 milligrams of test and 200 milligrams of Primo might be a little bit presumptuous. Maybe start with 150 test and 150 Primo. You know, so you don't get, you know, potential blood pressure increases or acne or whatever. Yeah, so there's a lot of self-experimentation involved, but I would do 200 tests first and then maybe add in an aromatase inhibitor and add in the GH, see how you respond, see how much water retention you hold, see how much your blood pressure increases, see how your lipids change, and then throw in the Primo later when you have an idea if it's legit or not. YK-11 cycle only SubQ. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the YK-11 SubQ and these steroids intramuscularly. Still efficient or too much volume. So I'm injecting 0.6 milliliters, 30 milligrams, because the modern aminos injectable YK-11 is 50 milligrams per 1 milliliter. Before it was 30 milligrams, but they found a way to put 50 milligrams in there. So I'm injecting 0.6 milliliters. That's 30 milligrams. Every single day, SubQ upon waking. I experimented with pre-workout shots intramuscularly, made no difference, unlike injectable Anadrol. So probably non-genomic effects from injectable YK-11 or YK-11 in general. So I don't see a need for pre-workout application. I just SubQ it in the morning, and then in the evening I'm PRing left and right. Yeah, or PBing, personal bests. Stream Predator because you mentioned it. Enjoy it. Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, but it's a 0.6 milliliter SubQ. Besides the 0.1 from the MOTC, 0.2 from the SS31, 1 milliliter from the... I do too much, man. I'm doing too much. Vicar Steve, approved protocol. Guys, I'm about to get shredded. I'll give a 6 weeks update. All right, let us know by Christmas, man, if you're worthy of eating a cheesecake and a Biscoff. Biscoff cheese, a caramel cheesecake. Oh, man. Ugh. And then what you do is you get the Biscoffs extra dry, and then you don't use a spoon, but you use the Biscoffs. Crunchy as fuck, dude. 7 milligrams retatrutide per week, and I still fantasize about food. I might have to switch to tirzepatide. How do you dose cagrilintide? Texas speech. Cagrelin in a tire. I know what you mean, bro. I see you, Jake Sully. Let's touch tails. I know exactly what you mean. 0.5 milligrams 3 times per week, which, dude, I could not fucking move. I would like to try Omegatide. That's like retatrutide plus cagrilintide together. Chase Irons has that on his website. Code Vigorous for 10% off. YouTube, please don't ban me. It's been 2 hours. Hopefully the algorithm doesn't catch it. But yeah, cagrilintide made me very, very lethargic. Cagrilintide made me lethargic. Follistatin made me lethargic. High-dose growth hormone recently made me lethargic, but I switched brands. AP sent me a new batch of growth hormone that is basically from the same factory as Onsamone, and then I ran 20 IU's growth hormone post-leg day, and I was not as water retentive and not as lethargic on Wednesday, and then I ran it yesterday, 10 IU's, and after a hamstring day, and today I'm fine also. So I'll do some blood work on it. Haven't done it yet, but the volume, like, literally, dude, you inject it and you start volumizing. I'm like, what the fuck is this? See, it's from the Onsamone factory. I'm like, oh, okay. Smells like hospital too. So, that did not make me lethargic, but some of the other underground lab growth hormone that I was running before, at 10 IUs per day or 6 IUs per day, I was like, fuck me, man. I had to stop. I have water retention, fine. Carpal tunnel, I don't give a shit. But sleepiness during the day, I can't afford it, man. I don't want to be like bottle feeding my daughter and then dozing off. I don't have time for that. It's dangerous. So, how do you dose cagrilintide? 0.25 to 0.5 milligrams 3 times per week, and build your way up as needed. But even half a milligram 3 times a week was too much for me. I couldn't fucking move. So, all right. Oh, we're down. We're at the bottom. And people still send super chats. I said this was the last one. And then Julie, I forgot, bro. Well, we used to have 10 minutes. So, guys, We made it to the bottom. I'm removing this. You got 20 minutes to get your super chats in. Dubai is cool. What if it was Singapore? Singapore, I would not bring steroids. Even though I did. When we had the Southeast Asia Championships in Singapore, I brought so much steroids. You don't want to know. And I know all the bodybuilders that live in Singapore, they... I can't keep my eyes off this. All the bodybuilders that I know in Singapore, they come to Thailand to shop and they hand carry it into Singapore. So I guess it's okay. I did some shopping on AliExpress and then I got this keychain, right? And then I wanted to get these cherries, but I didn't expect them to be a life size. So they're so huge. So imagine you put this key, this for the red Honda, and it's pretty nicely matched. It's not bad. All right. $2, $3. Yeah, you get a nice keychain, but I didn't expect it to be this big. This is like almost if you know play Counter-Strike, you know exactly what that means. So I got it in the mail. I'm like, why the fuck is it so huge? What the shit? Anyway, Singapore, yeah, the fines are bad, but people that I know, they just bring it. Managed to keep an amazing physique post-cycle. Being natty and getting asked what cycle I'm doing is super great, but damn, it is boring. Progress and periodization is so slow. Can't wait to shoot some tests. Yeah, that's why nobody ever does one cycle. You do one cycle, you do your PCT, and then even though you keep your natty gains and your skin is a little bit thinner because you lose the water retention from the cycle, so you look nice and lean, right? At one point, you lose the volume and the thickness. Maybe it could be 6 months, could be 1 year, could be at the end of the post-cycle therapy, and you're like miserable because your testosterone levels didn't recover, but maybe yours did, and it's enough to maintain your size. But it's boring, man. It's boring. You've been driving the Ferrari, and now you're back to the Toyota. And you're still driving, and you're still getting to where you need to go, and you still got a roof over your head and air conditioning, but it's not the Ferrari. So I'm sure you get exactly what's going to happen. You're already fantasizing about your next cycle, and I completely get it. Every time I'm off cycle, I fantasize about my next cycle. All right, I went through that last 40 minutes and 10 minutes. That's pretty good. All right, so guys, we got 15 minutes left. If you want to super chat me, now is your time. In the meantime, I'll answer some interesting questions. Oh, this is good to hear. As a cardiologist, I just wanted to say that you were smarter than many endocrinologists I know. Not that PEDs are safe, but your knowledge is top notch. Hey, man, it's... I didn't get to 160,000 subscribers by accident, you know, but I'm 100% self-taught. And I think anybody could get to my level of knowledge if you just have a passion for it. But I also had no life, right? I was just researching, and then I turned into a coach. And then I got more experience through coaching. And then I decided to go on YouTube, and I kept researching. And then, you know, now I'm at a point where I research less because I don't really produce content. But I'm an expert in being a father and an expert in motorcycles now. So the research didn't stop. The working didn't stop. It just shifted from pharmacology to parenthood and motorcycles. And at one point, the motorcycle fetish is diminished. Right? I got my 4 motorcycles that I really wanted. They're all almost done with the modification process. And then now I can chill out a little bit because I got 4 bikes. So, and the parenthood will still take time. But yeah, I'll have more time for pharmacology. But anybody can get to my level, man. You just need to have a passion for it and research a lot and do a little bit of self-experimentation to figure out a higher truth. You know? Opinion on sesame oil for testing. A Brazilian in compounding pharmacy started baking this with a good rep and quality. Yeah, sesame oil is fine. I think cypionate is in sesame oil. Or a lot of cypionate is in sesame oil. So a lot of testosterone enanthate is in cottonseed or castor oil. And I don't know, I think it's on my website somewhere, right? I did research on this as well. But it is being used. Let's see, articles. I have that carrier oil deep dive where I said sesame oil was okay. But I think the flame point is not so high, so you might not be able to dissolve everything in it. C-reactive protein. Oh, it's set to private. Okay, that's why. Old article. And formatting is shit. Let's see. Sesame oil has a dynamic viscosity rating light below grapeseed oil, but above cottonseed oil, and those are all used. And then let's see, castor, cottonseed, sesame. So Bosch Healthcare, Desme Healthcare, Hikma Pharmaceuticals, and Watson's, they all produce testosterone cypionate and propionate and enanthate in sesame oil. So it is being used by 4 pharmaceutical companies. So that means that it's good to go, man. I've never seen anybody get inflammatory markers elevated on sesame oil. I've used sesame oil myself in the past. Some of these brands, like Desma, in the past I've used, and Bosch from Canada, or Valiant Pharmaceuticals from Canada. And yeah, it went in smooth as butter, man. So go for it. Then check if there's no hidden ethyl oleate and high concentrations of benzoyl alcohol in there. That could be a problem. Steve, crypto question. Did you pack it in for the cycle? I might have to pack it in. So what I did is I got liquidated. And then I bought back in. I had 3 buy orders of just Bitcoin at 100,000, 102,000, and 103,000. So then I was 75% into Bitcoin. And then I got liquidated on the way down when it broke through 103. So I made a little profit there. And then I got back in at around, I set a huge buy order at 94,000, which it didn't hit because it stopped right before, right? And then I bought back in a little bit later, and now we're in. Well, we have what 1% profit. Yeah, I bought in around 94.5. So we have 1% profit. But if it doesn't close above the 50-week moving average, then I should liquidate again. So the amount of money that I lost on trading fees makes me want to cry. Yeah. And I'm about 10% down from the top, which is not the end of the world. But it's still, you know, if you go by unrealized unrealized profit, fuck, dude. It's not cool. Honestly, this was the hardest cycle to trade. I'm not gonna lie. It was fucking difficult, and it really now I'm at a point where it really tests my patience. Like, should I sell? Should I not sell? Is the cycle over? And we've seen that before because it's exactly how I felt. Where we go to the day around March. All right, then I got a good entry. It bounced up a little bit to one of the fib levels, and then it dumped lower. And I had a double bottom, and then it pumped hard. And I remember wanting to sell at that point because I was down, 5% from my entry. Yeah, I was about down 5% in March to early April 2025. And then it pumped, and I was so happy that I hold. All right, and then I made a good trade, and then I made another good trade on this triple peak that we got. And then I made a bad trade on the way down because I was like, hey, man, it's rate cuts. November is here, or October, and Pumpvember, and everything came crashing down. So I was down 10% from the top, and then I liquidated, and I liquidated, and I liquidated, and I got a couple of entries, made some of the exchange fees back. But all in all, I'm up a lot from my entries, but I'm down from the top about 10%. And yeah, that hurts. But hey, I should have sold. Should have sold in October. It was like basically based on the cycle theory. I should have just sold right 6th of October. Or no, this is Solana. Where was it? Yeah, 6th of October. I knew there was a date that the cycle would be over, and I didn't sell because I got greedy. So I lost 10% because I got greedy. And now I'm at the point where I just want to sell everything and park it to the side. But there's still hope for a pump, because if you do a trend line all the way back from the start of the bull market, basically at November 20th, 23rd, when it started pumping. If you draw a trend line on the logarithmic chart, we didn't break that trend line yet. Right? touched it again on 2nd of January 2023. Then we had a couple touches in September to October 23, and then it pumped really hard, and now we touch it again. So technically, the structure since November 2022 up until now has not been broken yet. Now, of course, that's all, wishful thinking, because all the other trend lines broke hard. The trend line since August 2024 broke, and the other trend line since October 23 broke. So yeah, it's make it or break it this weekend, man. But hey, low volume over the weekend, and it could mean that they just pump it. I wouldn't surprise it that tomorrow, just like last Sunday, right on Sunday they pumped it from 101,600. They pumped it in a day to 106,000 or 105,500. They pumped it by 4%, and it was well above the 50-week moving average. So if all the Black Rocks and the ETF managers want to pump it this weekend, I would be a warm welcome. Pump it to 3,500 or more, or dude, pump it so high that it breaks the fucking downward trend at about 105,000, and then a small retest at 104,000, and then fucking moon it until Christmas. That would be ideal. I fucking moon it. I mean, if I'm 75% in now, if you can moon it with 80% from this point to 180,000 or 210,000, that would be nice. But then I'm fucking selling, bro. So I'm either selling this weekend, or if it starts pumping, then I'm selling when the pump ends. I will not be greedy. I will start laddering out. And at the first trend line break, I'm fucking out. I'm done. Yeah, but extended cycle. If it comes down to the 50-week moving average and it bounces, sure. But if it breaks through the 50-week moving average and it closes, then I'm out. Just like it closes this weekend. If it closes this weekend below the 50-week moving average, I'm out. And I'll wait for a trend line break. And if it means that it comes up to 110,000 and then I feel comfortable to get back in, it's okay. If I know it's going up, right? You sold at 100, well, where are we now? If I sell at 96,000, for example, let's say it stays here, right? Let's say I sell at 96,000, and before I feel confident in the market, and it's at 110,000, so that's a 15% increase. It doesn't matter because it's going up. If it goes up from 110 to 180, I'm not going to complain. Yeah, but you have less Bitcoin to trade with. So what? It's going up. It's a new trade. I made a bad call on the last trade, and I made a good call on the next trade. And if the next trade goes up by 80%, I'm not going to complain. Yeah, but I sold it at 96 and I got in at 110. I have 15% less Bitcoin. I don't give a shit, man. It's a new trade. Some trades are good, some trades are bad. But yeah, if it's based on my cycle strategy and knowing that I'm down 10% from the top, I'm ready to pack it in. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, right? We have the golden or the death cross is basically happening tomorrow. That could either pump or dump the market. If you go back historically, it could either dump or pump. It usually pumps more in a bull market than it dumps, but it could still dump. And now we've been on a downward trajectory since October the 6th. It's like 1.5 months. So it might just dump tomorrow hard. And if it dumps below 94,000, then I'm out. And if it doesn't pump tomorrow to 105,000 or over 103,300, is that the 1 week? What are we now? Yeah, 103,300, then I'm also out. And I'll just wait for the next trade. That's fine. And if it pumps in the meantime, it's also good, man. If I see a confirmation that it's going up and it breaks through all the downward resistance trend lines and the Fibonacci levels and I feel confident, then it's just a new trade. I lost on the previous trade and I have potential to make money on the next trade. And it doesn't matter where Bitcoin is. It matters the percentage gain. Do you like gelato, Italian ice cream? No, I'm not a fan. I'm not. I like the tacky ice cream with a lot of chemicals. Peanut oil sucks. I feel toxic. Yeah, but peanut oil, arachids oil is inflammatory. All right, there's super chats building up again. So now we really gotta. No more, guys. No more. Done. We're done. Does having a base of 770 testosterone, 16 estradiol indicate that I would aromatize less on average than average on Jesus Christ? You don't start with 50 milligrams testosterone 50 milligrams testosterone every day. 350 milligrams per week is too high. Start with 150 milligrams per week. 50 milligrams Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That will bring your testosterone to 1,200 nanograms per deciliter if your testosterone is good. And then your estradiol would probably be 30. And then you go to 200, your probably estradiol would be 40. I think you could use 250 milligrams testosterone without an aromatase inhibitor, and then you would need it. But if you start with 350, you would definitely need an aromatase inhibitor, even if your estradiol is now only 16. So 350 per week is a very high starting dose. Don't do it. Headed on a trip to Thailand. What's the correct Tren protocol before I'm officially open to exploring options with ladyboys? I think that starts from 50 milligrams daily onwards. I'm at 150 milligrams per week, so what is it? 20 something milligrams per day, and I've not had the need. But maybe if I increase the dose. But all the British guys, they're on like 300 milligrams of Tren per week. They're all banging the ladyboys and soy cow. Which is funny. They're trying to make that into a one-way street. So maybe that says something. For the crypto fest or for the crypto fund, in a previous live stream you mentioned that Enclomiphene should not be run as a protocol long term. Do you have a video explaining the issues with it? No, just go to the scientific evidence and look at all the potential side effects. You don't want estradiol blockade long term. Inject. Real men inject. Please. Please. Enclomiphene prescriptions are a joke. It's no. No. Look at all the side effects of long-term selective estrogen receptor modulator use, like Nolvadex, Clomid, Dormorphine. Right? It's not a good idea. You can try it for a while, but I would not run it longer than 6 weeks. 6'6", 235 pounds, down from 315 pounds using Cerebrolysin Primo test. Used all the information from you. So once again, have some cheesecake money. I appreciate you and Chase for that matter. All right, thanks so much, dude. You look fucking phenomenal in that picture. So good on you. And 6'6", 235 pounds. I mean, that's very fuckable, bro. Yeah, spend that money on condoms. If you know, you know. I'm going to Spain, and I'm worried about not bringing Retta with me. And I'm going to be having a massive appetite rebound. Yeah, that's what I had every time I come off these GLP-1 receptors, because it makes appetite suppression so easy that you even have less control when you take it out. That's why everybody rebounds. So the good thing is retatrutide has reasonably long half-life. It should still be active for about a week or two, and then you would start to get increasing appetite. So if your holiday is only 2 weeks, then just shoot like 5 milligrams before you go, and then you'll be a little bit nauseous, obviously, the first couple of days. But then it's longer lasting for the 2 weeks. And otherwise, you're going to have to source it there, maybe go to the gym or maybe sneak in a little bit, if you're willing to risk it. It's, yeah. Steve, this is my third Bitcoin cycle. I'm an OG, sold 3/4 of my bag in October. Smart man, sitting in cash until we get back to the 200-week moving average. And it might even go to the 300-week moving average, dude. I think that's the bottom. Because I think the bottom last time was the 300-week moving average. But it could still bounce off the 50 and then go to the 20-week and then come down to the 100 and bounce off the 50. Right? If you go through the charts, you might be able to see a pattern there. But yeah, you're smart, man. That's what I should have done. I got liquidated with a 10% loss. So It's not, again, it's not the end of the world, but a 10% loss is a lot when you're an OG. I've been in here since 2017. Yeah, this is my third cycle also. And but I'm not susceptible to greed, man. As you guys know, I'm very financially motivated, which I shouldn't be because I have more than enough money. Still, a couple of extra figures, a couple of extra zeros, always nice. Sell at 10:30 EST Monday, 1 hour after USA. Yeah, smart. Yeah, this is a smart idea. But I'll see what happens on Sunday. 2015 is a bit of flat Bitcoin year, but I still gained 25%, man, this year with smart trading. If GS cost was not a factor, what dose would you run, also considering you care of facial bloating? If you care about facial bloating, 2 to 3 IUs. And then after that, I just, especially daily. So, but yeah, if I didn't care about facial bloating, I'd run 20 IUs per day, man. And then it's just a matter of dealing with the water retention and the carpal tunnel. Salted Caramel Fun, thanks for doing what you do. Master, this is 7.8 euros. All right, yeah, that's enough for a cheesecake. And with that, let's close it off. I've made more than enough money to keep myself fat. But look at all these veins, man. Look at all this shit. Let's tie off. Let's tie this off for a second. Let's see how vascular I get. Yeah, it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay, and it's not bad at the end of the day. It's fucking peak, bro. Ugh. Pretty good. I wish my lower back was shredded. But that's coming. I got 6 weeks left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 weeks. Oh shit! I better hurry. And then I'll take some pictures, and then we're gonna cruise for a while. I've been juicing too long, too hard, even though the blood work is still okay. All right, I gotta pull it down sometimes. Okay, guys. Anabolic Roundtable episode 16 is linked down below. The Gorilla Mind Black Friday sale is already live. It lasts until December 1st. You get 10 to 40% discount, and then another 10% discount or 20% discount to 40% discount. And then another 10% with my code, Vigorous. Link down below. Same for Intelligent Shop, 10 or 20% to 50% discount. Code Vigorous. Bathmate is early access, lasts until November 24th. You get 10 to 30% discount with the link down below. And yes, consultations and personalized advice by email will be discounted 50% as a Black Friday deal because you guys have been so generous while I'm away. So I'm going to be generous for all of the guys that want to do a consultation with me, but it's too fucking expensive. I had to price myself this high because otherwise it's 3 hours per day, 4 hours per day. Now it's about 1 hour. So I have some time left for additional consultations. November 28th to December 1st. So that's Black Friday up until Cyber Monday. And that you can collect that anytime you want between purchase up until end of February. So you have 3 months to cash that in. Clip channel, all the secondhand motorbike shops are linked down below. And some motorbike parts. And yeah, this was fun, guys. I'll see you next weekend. I got a nice schedule, so I'll do my best to be here every weekend for you guys. And otherwise, I have a valid excuse, right? So enjoy yourself. I'll be buying a lot of cheesecake tomorrow. And maybe some baklava to finish myself off, right? And paclaflosin and Jardians and berberine and insulin to pass it all through. I'll see you guys next weekend. Peace out.